Ali, Ali. Ali, Ali. Yeah. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. Islamism without the schism. Want to rise upon the 7 within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. But let us call forth our beloved brother, Marvin Nathaniel Edwards Bey, so that he may open up the way. Islam. You there, grand man?
Islam, yes, sir. Gratitude. Islam family. I will be opening our meeting according to law, and I'll begin by committing Morse American prayer. Ya Allah abnuheru meku neteru. Ya Allah abhedheru. Ya Allah ma'adheru. Ya Allah hoteperu. Ya Allah heru. Ya Allah ma'ad herikudi. Ya Allah awajet dejuti. Ya Allah patem sitek. Patem heru. Ya Allah pamaduti. Allah hejisre abtu ali. Amen. Hallelujah. 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 In transliteration, O Allah, the Father of the universe. O Allah, the Father of love. O Allah, the Spirit of truth. O Allah, the Spirit of peace. O Allah, the Spirit of freedom. O Allah, the Spirit of justice. O Allah, you are my protector. O Allah, you are my guide. O Allah, you are my salvation by night and by day. O Allah, through your holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Holy Issa. Holy Issa. Holy Issa. And I will be reading our Divine Constitution of Morris America. And I'll begin. Salvation, our God, unity. The Divine Constitution of Morris America. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of Morris America are empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Morris America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the citizens of Morris America. The bylaws. Act 2. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh, and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is a holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of North America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a North American, you are a part and a parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of North America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the state government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, because, and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America. And then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace and blessing be upon him, founding father and frame of the divine constitution and bylaws of North America. Now that this meeting has been opened according to law, I will now hand this meeting over to our National Assistant Grand Secretary of State, Dr. Dendra Ani Okurtabe. Islam?
Islam, God, man. Gratitude. I am Dr. Dendra Ani Okurtabe. First, let me rise and give praises to our great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Act 1. I give honors to all my government officials. I give honors to our National Assistant Grand Chief for hosting this class this morning. And I give honors to our Counsel General of Texas, Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, for opening us up according to law. And at this time, I will be reading our chapter of the week, coming from our Holy Quran, chapter 61. Holy instructions from the prophet, pinnacle of wisdom. As the eye of the morning to the lark, as the shade of the evening to the owl, as honey to the bee, or as the carcass to the vulture, even such is life unto the heart of man. Though bright, it dazzle not. Though obscure, it displeases not. Though sweet, it cloyeth not. Though corrupt, it forbiddeth not. Yet who is he that knoweth its true value? Learn to esteem as thou art, then art thou near the pinnacle of wisdom. Think not with the fools that nothing is more valuable, nor believe with the pretended wise that thou oughtest to condemn it. Love it not thyself, but for the good it may be of to others. Gold cannot buy it for thee, neither mines of diamonds purchase back the moment thou hast now lost it. Employ the succeeding ones in virtue. Say not that it were best not to have been born, or if born that it had been best to die early. Neither dare thou to ask of the Creator, where has been the evil had I not existed? Good is thy power, the want of good is evil. And if thy question be just, lo, it condemneth thee. Would if the fish swallow the bait if he knew the hook was hidden therein? Would the lion enter the toils if he saw they were prepared for him? So neither were the soul to perish with this clay, neither would a merciful Father have created him. No, hence thou shalt live afterward. As a bird enclosed in the cage before he sieve it, yet teareth not his flesh against its side. So neither labor thou vainly to run the state thou art in, but know it is allotted thee, and be content with it. Though its ways are uneven, yet they are not all painful. Accommodate thyself to all, and where there is the least appearance of evil, suspect the greatest danger. When thy bed is straw, thou sleepest in security, but when thou stretch thyself on roses, beware of the thorns. A good death is better than an evil life. Strive, therefore, to live as long as thou oughtest, not so long as thou canst. While thy life is to others worth more than thy death, it is thy duty to preserve it. Complain not with the food of the shortness of thy time. Remember, with thy days thy cares are shortened. Take from the period of thy life the useless part of it, and what remaineth. Take off the time of thine infancy, thy second infancy of age, thy sleep, thy thoughtless hours, thy days of sickness, and even at thy fullest of years, how few seasons hast thou truly numbered. He who gave thee life as a blessing shortened it to make it more so. To what end would longer life have served thee? Wishest thou to have had an opportunity of more vices? As to the good, will not he who limit thy span? Be satisfied with the fruits of it. To what end, O child of sorrow, wouldst thou live longer? To breathe, to eat, to see the world? All this thou hast done often already. Too frequent repetition, is it not tiresome? Or is it not superfluous? Wouldst thou improve thy wisdom and thy virtue? At last, what art thou to know? Or who is it that shall teach thee? Badly thou employest the little thou hast, dare not therefore to complain that the more is not given thee. Repine not at thy want of knowledge, it must perish within the grave. Be honest here, thou shalt be wiser hereafter. Say not unto the crow, why numberest thou 7 times thy Lord, or to the fawn, why art thine eyes to see my offsprings 100 generations? Are these to be compared with thee in the abuse of life? Are the righteous, are they cruel? Are they ungrateful? Learn from them, rather that innocent of manners are the path of good old age. Knowest thou to employ life better than these? Then less of it may suffice thee. Man who dare enslave the world when he knows he can enjoy his tyranny but for a moment, what would he not aim at if he were immortal? Enough have thou of life, but thou regardest it not. Thou art not in want of it, O man, but thou art prodigal. Thou threwest it lightly away, as if thou hadst more than enough, and yet thou repinest that it is not gathered again unto thee. Know that it is not abundance which maketh rich, but economy. The wise continue to live from his first period. The fool is always beginning. Labor not after riches first, and think thou wilt afterwards enjoy them. He who neglect the present moment throweth away all that he hath, as the arrow passes through the heart, while the warrior knew not that it was coming. So shall his life be taken away before he knoweth that he have it. What then is life, that man should desire it? What breathing, that he should cover it? Is it not a scene of delusion, a series of misadventures, a pursuit of evils linked on all sides together? In the beginning, it is ignorance. Pain is in its middle, and its end is sorrow. As one wave pushes on another, till both are involved in that behind them, even so succeedeth evil to evil in the life of man. The greater and the present swallow up the lesser and the past. Our terrors are real evil. Our expectation look forward into impossibilities. Fools to dread as mortals, and to desire as if immortal. What part of life is it that we should wish to remain with us? Is it youth? Can we be in love with outrageous lasciviousness and temerity? Is it age? Then we are fond of infirmities. It is said, gray hairs are revel, and length of days in honor. Virtue can add reverence to the bloom of youth, and without it, age plants more wrinkles in the soul than on the forehead. Is age respected because it hateth riot? What justice is in this, when it is not age that despises pleasure, but pleasure that despises age? Be virtuous while thou art young, so shall thine age be honored. Islam, Islam, Islam. I will now turn everything back over to our National Assistant Grand Chief, Dr. Sadua Menti El Maheja Sepsuel. Are you there, God man?
Islamism, can you hear me, sis?
Islam, I can hear you well.
Gratitude. Islamism without the schism. We want to give honors to you for that reading, goddess and queen. And you already know we definitely gonna lay a foundation for this special drawing that we have on the manifest. And let us start with getting our family to identify. With the chapters that we're gonna be coming out of. Is actually we're gonna start at 388. And that'll be religions on the glass. Get our first volunteer to come forth right there. Yeah, it's brother Black Bay. You can go to page 390, right above entering Islam.
Islam.
All right.
Islam.
The next volunteer entering Islam.
And Islam.
Okay, Grand Secretary of State. Okay. Entering Islam. You can take it over to
I think I heard Dr. Dender first.
Oh, she did? Goodness gracious. I didn't. All right, Sister Dendra. All right, Sister Dendra. Well, page 390. And you can go over to page 392. Well, actually 393 above. You'll stop above what about Moors and prayer.
Oh, okay.
Islam. And where it is, it's another drawing here I'm trying to pull up. And give me 1 second, and I just want to make sure I got it. Okay, Islam Grand National Secretary of the State.
Islam.
Okay, we'll have you pick up at I don't want it to be too long. We'll go to actually Allah or God, and then have you read from there to 398, just above it, where it says, "How can man be God?"
Okay.
And that's on page
Okay.
395 to 398. Islam,
Islam. Gratitude.
gratitude, Islamism. All right, brother. Bati Bey, you may proceed, good brother.
And that's it. Religious under the glass.
Yes, sir.
Islam. First,
Yeah,
I
you
like
got
to
your
rock.
page number?
Islam. 388
Okay.
to 391
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you good. All right.
or 390. Islam. First, I'd like to rise to give all manner of praise to Allah, honors to the Prophet, honors to our theocratic government, our royal council, our flag, seal, emblem, our divine constitution, our swift angels, our muftis, the citizens alike, our scribes, our host, Dr. Shadu Amiti Hadith Shabazir, for this class, and I will begin. Religions under glass. Humans have fallen from the state of God consciousness, are curious by nature. It is in the curiosity of this nature where carnal customs under the guise of religions that man has misguided other men from the great God into the atrocities of evil. Under the name of religions and in the name of their respective gods, the lions have created ungodly institutions of misery, death, and destruction for unsuspecting lambs. Laymen splinters known as scholars and doctors of law, not by the prophets themselves, started most of them. In fact, no prophet ever named his portion of the other great religion after himself, e.g., Buddhism, Mohammedanism, Judaism, Christianity, etc. These were monumental names given by idol worshippers after the prophets had left their flesh, died. These are the same holy people which created the ritual customs, prayer practices, etc. Some have gone fanatically off the normal religious field of play into maiming, abusing, torture, insanity, and death. Others in loss, others lost in faith have committed congregational murder and suicides. These small groups are called extremists and members of an occult society. However, do not let their disproportionate size to other major religions fool you. When an occultist is carefully examined and is revealed as one who believes in a religious practice until they are willing to sacrifice their life to prove their faith, then their numbers are no longer small. In fact, each of the major religions could produce several 100 million faithists on yesterday or sooner if their religious head said, "It's time." And if anyone calls them a member of the opposing religion, they would think it to be the will of their God to send, kill you ahead of themselves. Question is, how could religion produce this kind of holiness into the minds of men? The answer is simple. Firstly, there is only one true religion, law, and that is the one which leads the hand of man thinker back into the divine mind, the great God's hand, where he will once again know infinite love and the harmonies of truth and peace. See third eye. Secondly, if your religion is headed by a priest, imam, pastor, father, grand sheikh, or otherwise spiritual leader who has not personally seen the great God or has not themselves gone the silent journey into the blue light to the kingdom of the soul, then you may be led on the right track but headed in the wrong direction. True spiritual leaders are angels in human flesh with the wisdom to take the pure in heart to the Creator because they know the way. They have gone there at will and can show you there. If one has traveled up Kilimanjaro, then one can lead others to the mountain, to that mountain. If one has been to the great God, then one can be a spiritual leader and lead others to Allah. Simple. But if one has not been taught the straight way, one cannot teach the straight way. Excuse me. Teach the straight way. Again, simple. Has your spiritual leader been to the great God? Africans of today's Western world should be careful, should be extra careful in their choice. So named freedom of religion clause. There's a great possibility through religions made available, you may think you are choosing a religion when in fact the religion was probably chosen for you. Be mindful. The Holy Bible, Holy Quran, and the Torah have each been used to support the enslavement of African people. Even today, neither of their inheritance, be they Christian, Muslim, or Jew, will support the teaching of the true nationality and identification of the so-called African American, Black, Coloreds, or Negroes, which is needed to connect them to the human family. All people of the book know the true identity of the so-called Negroes. And if they do not know the true identity, they damn sure know that Negro is not the truth. People of the book hold the entire history of the human family, but it is not in someone's best interest they be put back into the human family. See Freemason. The dangers of most major religions are their man-made ritual customs, ceremonies, and mud prayers, etc. Their customs will often create familiarities, popularity, and inflate the ego. It is because one group of people to it will cause it causes one group of people to war against another and to believe their concept of God and righteousness is superior. The only true way and the only true way and the whole earth's population are sinners and devils outside of their practice religion. They are God's chosen people, his holy nation. These latter day teachings have created gods of selfishness where one religion with grains of plenty can feel spasmodic blessings to see the children outside of their faith starve to death. If they would have accepted our God, they could have lived. History holds no secret that religion, for whatever reason, has been the backbone of every war since man developed families, communities, and nations. The proclaimed righteous at war with the unrighteous, and the lion against the lamb. Today, there are same faith wars, brothers against brothers, and even century holy wars, where again man shows his divine right to murder thousands of other men in the name of their God. How does the word holy or religious in front of murder justify the loss of life? Do mere words make right the wrong? Nevertheless, Drew Ali said, one day there will be a holy war. Soon, man will realize the reason for the return of wars is the continued discontentment and the return of war-freed souls, casualties of battle, which may incarnate back to complete their life sums. Let a man die with the knowledge of himself and creator, and he will not need to return. Finally, any religion that promotes man's inhumanity to man via death, slavery, or anything that harms the human family or their Mother Earth is not a true religion, but indeed an oversized cult. It really does not take but a little intelligence to understand there is something a little demented when a person of the cloth can give all praises due or think Yehoshua for any man taking another man's life, or thanking Yehoshua for any man taking another man's life or the enslavement of yet another. Equally warped is the mind which debases another mind from its highest ideal. Too often, these modern religions are attached to Noble Drew Ali. However, for the sake of the record, Ali brought a movement, a divine and national movement, and not a religion. He directed the Moorish to return to Islam, the old time religion of their ancient forefathers. The Prophet did not create nor bring a new religion, albeit a movement. Let it be known, henceforth, the Moorish Americans are the return of the ancient gods in the form of man, and will have no part of slavery or killing of any living thing which was made by them as vicegerent of the great God Allah. During this age of optic communication and information, one can afford to inquire as to the purpose of any religious practice, ritual, prayer, diet, mode of dress, and ceremonial rites. All souls are naturally designed to seek the truth, even to the ends of the universe. More Holy Quran, Surah 38, ayat 23 to 28. The answers to those questions should all show how it relates to the ultimate God and man without the daily dependency of a middleman. Of course, since one truth never contradicts any other any other truth, truth as God is one, then their holy book should also be in harmony with all other holy books. If these findings lead where towards where man has been since his fall from grace, then it is not advisable to continue along those religious routes. As said, if man keeps doing what he has always done, he will keep getting what he's always gotten. This author recommends yoga, meditation, until a straighter path comes along or this book reaches fruition, whichever comes first. Meditation, the prayer of all the prophets, sages, and people of wisdom, provides a person with a one-on-one path with the Creator, and you can still keep your religion of choice. And it is free. After all, what is the price tag of salvation? I'm sure all men would be willing to pay it if any man could afford it. The only catch is the one true living creator has no use for any illusions made by man from the beast of Mother Earth, and especially money. Fact is, gold comes from the earth. God has no need for anything drawn by man from her and placed value upon. Therefore, all thinking people should run like hell away from from any god that has a use for the money that is formerly made, claimed, and owned by Caesar. From Alpha slavery into Islam. May Allah's canopy of peace and blessings be upon all prophets. Your religion is it through the God of your forefathers. According to official records, chattel slavery in the USA only lasted from 1779 until 1865. During this time, 86 years, the U.S. legally supported chattel slavery from its presidents and constitution to the enactment of the Black Code laws. However, in memorial honor of the more than 500 million people of Africa which perished in the system of inhumane genocide, it took them from 1492 to 1865, nearly 400 years, in order to break the mental back of these former Muslims. The year of 1492 was the year the Moors lost their 800-year battle of civilizing the nations of Europe, and a former Portuguese slave trader named Christopher Columbus found the world was round and had millions of other people already using it. According to certified documents of the Spanish crown, it was September 3rd, 1501, that marked the beginning of the African slave trade. On that day, a Portuguese vessel carried the first cargo of kidnapped Africans to be Christianized in Spain before crossing the Great Atlantic on April 1502. The first of millions of more slaves arrived onto the Spanish colony on the island of Hispaniola. With these dates in mind, on April 2002 marked the 500th year of American slavery, which includes 135 years of post 13th Amendment hostage taking and mental enslavement during the manumission of the Moorish Americans as a people. This is the true Holocaust to the human family, and there is no memorial built in the nation's capital to this day to say never again. Perhaps because the NBCs, in their present state of absolute vulnerability, do not have the assurance granted or guaranteed to all other nations signed under the International Genocide Treaty. One does not honor the true value of the marvelous light until forced into utter darkness. Likewise, for one to honor freedom in all its glory, one must have reached the depths of slavery. Noble Drew Ali was the first to be authorized and ordained to bring true Islam to the children of former slaves in America in 1913 AD. Since then, there have been scores of daddies, fathers, rogue leaders, false prophets, and silly saviors with claiming jumping attempts to part the works of Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, aka Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The common goal of these fame seekers is to be recognized beyond the grave for their version of Islam or Yorish science. For a period, it appeared to be more rabid redeemers of the lost found than there were people to save. Their excuse me. Their multiplicity was largely due to two factors. The people were still suffering from mental slavery, which they still have now, and two, the religions of Islam was presented as new and Arabian sculptured to the Western world. This brings us to our subject and warning. If you are a child of former slaves in America, be careful of the version of Islam you accept. It may not lead you to paradise, and it may enslave you again. We stand and pray because Allah directed Drew Ali to teach us this way. According to Surah 4, 101 to 104 of the Great Quran, we disobeyed this Islamic law in 1492 and were in prostration prayer position when Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand killed thousands of us during Juma services. The ones not killed, tortured, or jailed in that year were forced to begin the worst system of slavery ever known to man, chattel slavery, in the Americas. The Quran commands us to pray standing or with sword in hand, on horseback, anytime we are in the territories of enemies of Allah. Here in the U.S., with its freedom of religion and separation of state and church, the government is still 99.9% Christian, Islam's natural enemy. For those who close their eyes and off their feet have been worn. There is a time for every knee to bow. Just be sure you are protected when you prostrate, or you may get up a slave. If you are not within your own sovereignty with Islamic rule, you may be on enemy grounds and therefore unsafe to prostrate. Like most birds of a feather, Arabians tend to favor Arabians over other nationalities, be they Islamic or non believers. They prefer for all nations to dress as they dress and speak as they speak. As a Muslim, excuse me, need to learn Quranic Arabic in order to get the interpreted essence of Allah's readings through Muhammad. All Moors need to learn the ancient garbs of their forefathers. True Moorish garb is the celestial cloth not designed by the styles and fads which fade with time. They are today good as they were for our parents millenniums ago. The only time Moors need to dress as all Muslims dress is during Hajj. Otherwise, every nation proudly demonstrates their own customs. How you dress can be part of your test. Nations uh, are as planets, and Allah has placed each one it in its own orbit so they may complement each other and glorify their Creator. Moorish American Muslims should stay in their pure and clean orbit until more divine instructions come along. And when, not if, but when you revert to Islam, go in your proper person and identity. Like a prodigal child, like any prodigal child, return, the Father will receive your submission more piously when you bring the honor of your mother with you. Honoring your mother gives added strength to all who return to Islam. To honor our father, your nationality, the free national name, don't leave home without it. Islam, Islam, Islam. And with this being concluded, I will now turn the meeting over to Dendra Ani Akurtabe for her portion. Islam.
Islam, Islam, Islam. And I will continue. Entering Islam. There is an ever present danger to every degree of freedom sought when escaping from slavery. The most infamous of these is when escaping from a slave master. The route to freedom may lead more freedom seekers into the welcoming vice of the slave catchers. Slave masters and slave catchers share a common observation. They see qualified slaves as their God's gift to free men with power. Of course, African males, females, and their litter have made the best slaves since the fall of man. This sheds a tremendous amount of light today's more seeking escape route from the enslaving master of the USA, Freemasonry, and the Moor Science Temple, and the Arabian version of Sunni Islam. Once they take the Shahada, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet. They think they are free, safe, and home. They look back at the NBC Christian brothers as though they are infidels, dead and deserving of Allah's wrath. But wait, how could they have possibly forgotten the Arabs are still the world's greatest catcher of Africa, bar none. Go from various degrees of Western enslavement to Arabian Islamic enslavement is like jumping out of the frying pan into the fire itself. What in the hell are they thinking? Oh, hell has been home so long, it is what they naturally think. Our dear reader and truth seekers, be advised, these lessons are neither public relation nor propaganda plugs for the Moor Science Temple of America, nor proselytizing for Sharif Abdul Ali. These are thought similar, founded upon one truth, never contradicts another truth. And if he can get us to thinking, we can save ourselves. Parentheses, Noble Drew Ali. Know what you are coming into, and your faith will not be blinded, nor your sincerity mislead by the beauty of its entrance that surely awaits you. To begin the essence of your Islamic tour, we will start at its origin. Islam means peace and is one of 99 attributes of the great God Allah. All attributes of Allah is Allah and are pathways emanating from Him to Him. Allah was first created by the first, Islam was first created by the first God man when he realized his fall from divine consciousness. It became a three-step ladder of thought leading from his center to the master's center. True Islam has very little to do with rituals, customs, and congregational behavior. It has always been an inward journey lead, which led returned man to his God state. This is love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, mercy, right, etc. All is spirit and has no equal. Therefore, there can be no partner, nor can Allah be divided into trinities and fractions as are often seen through the carnal eyes of man. Man himself is not the body or the soul. He too, like unto his Father God, Allah, is spirit. The bodies and the soul of men are created things and are absorbed with time and will pass. But there is no death in the spirit man as long as Allah lives. Moshe Quran chapter 1. But man failed through misuse of his godliness and gratification of his lower thoughts. He became lost in his own carnal manifest and strayed from the path of consciousness that made him one with Allah. Thus, the need for Islam. Islam is the straight path of peace leading from the heart of man back to the heart of Allah. This direct way is the way of the prophet and those who have not strayed. With that said, it will do well for readers to remember another saying of Drew Ali. Allah gives no good without its admixture of evil. For those of us who are freshly freed from the most indescribable system of slavery ever endured by a people, we must not accept, parentheses, what they say is Islam without first checking its lineage to the first religious creed of our forefathers. All versions of religion today are not true Islam. Just because a billion Muslims are doing the same thing does not make it right. Carnal man love to follow and not to lead, because by his nature he is a creature of habits. Before belief can become faith, man must first separate the immutable from custom. It would do well for the reader to remember Muhammad was a prophet who needed to redeem his paganistic people of Mecca. At that time, they were serving all kinds of idol gods because they had strayed away from their original African creed of Abraham. So he returned to them Islam. There are no sects in Islam, as it is quoted pure and clean in the great Quran through Muhammad, Surah 32. Contrary to popular belief, Prophet Muhammad did not bring Islam, nor did he perfect Islam. Islam has always been perfect since first given to man by the great God Allah. Islam is the name of the one great religion that was brought in portion by all the prophets from Adam to the prophet of all, the prophet of Ali in America. All the major prophets received their divine minister degree from the same ancient Comedian mastery system, either directly as did Moses and Yehoshua, or by angels as did Muhammad. Like all divine work of art, Islam was not named by any of its messengers until Prophet Muhammad Mustafa ibn Abdullah perfected it into Arabic for his polytheistic people, Surah 5 and 3. For this reason, he is the seal of the prophets. Perfection cannot be improved upon. Thus, no other pathway from man to Allah will ever be brought to the children of Adam and Eve, the human family. Although there are no sects in Islam, there are different versions of this one faith depending upon which nation a follower presents it. There are many Islamic entities, but the greatest known variation are Sunni, Shiite, and Sufi. Basically, all Muslims want to be in accord with the Great Quran and being in a state of Islamic denial. Most followers will not admit there are many sects in today's Islamic religion. Nevertheless, these unclaimed and denied sects under the suspicions of the Islamic system began immediately upon the death of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. What Ali returned to the Moors is pure and ancient Sunni Islam. A holistic way of life is void of slavery, evil, and the taking of life in any form. The Moors must remember history. It was the Arabs under the guise of Islam that tried to completely destroy the ancient Comedian mystery system, the Al-Fatiha straightway, during their conquest of Egypt. This sacred system was the first religious creed founded by the Moors as the true salvation of mankind on earth. Moorish Holy Quran 48 and 6. Drew Ali said this is the old time religion, Islamism, and he returned it to the Moors of America for the first time in ages. Albeit the Arabs advanced their version of Islam across Africa, they found the Moors of West Africa already possessed the ancient system. In fact, the Moors had been the chief keepers of the ancient mysteries since before they ruled as Phoenicians, Carthaginians, or Ptolemaic gods of the Nile. These teachings were in their purest form and were used by the Moors to introduce civilization to Spain, France, and Italy. The ancient mysteries has always been taught in degrees, and all graduates had pure hearts and minds. From the word of mouth, sacred temples and schools comes alumnus with degrees entitled God, Prophet, Messiah, and Angels, Master, etc. Some of the African scholars were Yehoshua, Moses, Gabriel, Michael, Solomon, etc. The Hadiths. All differences of Islam, though derived from various interpretations of the Hadith. The Hadiths are collections by which witnesses, Muslims, and relatives wrote in their sharing what oral statements, habits, action, and the life daily personage of Prophet Muhammad. There are many volumes of hadiths in the world today, but I do not recall any of them being entitled holy, as in the Holy Quran. Therefore, Islam's message in its purest sense is still the unadulterated and uncontaminated Holy Quran of Mecca. The Quran is the supreme law of Islam. In short, the purest form of Islam is the divine instruction found in the Holy Quran. With these sacred lessons, any Muslim can truly set their house in order. However, this lesson carries with it a warning. Warning number one: if any Muslim, a group of them makes any attempt to say nationality is not important or that the Quran supports black people as Allah's creation, turn your feet from them. They are either foolish unbelievers or agents of Satan. Every Muslim in the world, whether blessed to make Hajj or not, has a nationality, flag, history, attaching them to the human family and language, etc. Even the great prophet Muhammad honored his nationality through his name, Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Ibn refers to the son of the house of Abdullah. If Muhammad and Yehoshua, son of Joseph by Mary, claim their nationality and genealogical roots, it must be important. In fact, see the first chapter of Matthew, and you can trace Prophet Isha, the holy name given to Yehoshua, but cannot be used by those who are slaves to sin, from Adam through Abram, Boaz, Solomon, David to Joseph. Remove this noble line of kings from the great prophet, and you will believe God had a mother. Nationality is not relevant to salvation, and Adam had a navel. In short, you go for anything, but then you are what you accept. It would also be rather nice to know what some say that nationality is not important to the only people on the planet Mud without theirs. Hell, it took three major religions, the Order of Freemasonry, and three European powers over 400 years to denationalize the Moorish people from the face of the earth. Where is the fool that dares to say nationality is not important? All sacred records have one verse in common: honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be longer upon the earth land which the Lord thy God Allah had given thee. Anyone who claims your national descent is not valued is a part of the Europeans' worldwide conspiracy to bury we the people in a shadow grave of unconsciousness, which began over 400 years ago. Nationality is what linked us back to our mother, and Islam is our straight path to Allah. We must have both to be a well-balanced child, a nation. It was the ancient adepts that taught this principle of honoring the father and the mother. Warning number two: today, their Arabian-based brothers in Islam here in America often challenge Moorish American Muslims. These taunts are often questions raised concerning the authenticity of Noble Jew Ali's prophethood, or why Moses stand to pray, or how we dress, or why we are not fluent in Quranic Arabic? The answer to these inquiries are simply lawful and will be answered in a minute. But first, where were these so-called Muslims for the past 400 years before the advent of Prophet Noble Jew Ali? When we were buried so deep in slavery, they had ears, but none of them heard us pray. Islam, as perfected by Muhammad, has been around for over 1400 years. Truth is, indeed, it was our same Arabian Muslim brothers who had been slavers since before Muhammad also began selling us, the Moorish, into slavery between making salats, prayers 5 times a day. They were praying to Allah while on their knees and auctioning their brothers on the slave block when standing on their feet. In fact, it is the beginning of the 21st century, and as of this day, these same Arabian Muslims are still enslaving Africans from the Sudan and wherever they can kidnap them from. Today, as they were before the era of Muhammad, Arabians are as synonymous with wholesaling humans as they are camels, rugs, and crude. This is the reason so-called Arab countries could not come to the aid of the Moors that were being enslaved by the Christian West. They were just too busy supplying the African slave trade with their brothers. Slavery is supported in the Great Quran by many surahs, and participating Muslims think of slavery as their sacred duty. To them, it is simply a matter of either you think as Arabians or you are an unbeliever and are only worthy of enslavement or death. Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali alerts us to only 2 kinds of slavery: and slaves, mental slavery and slaves to sin. And he does not support the enhancement of either, but the awareness and abolishment hereby. Just the same, the Arabian slavers are not true Sunni, nor do they follow the immutable dictates of the Quran. One does not have to go to the Sudan to be enslaved by Muslims if you do not have knowledge of self and Allah. You are prime target for enslavement by those claiming Islamic connections. Some Moors have been beat down in their head so hard with that set maul until they are just plain silly. Those in this state often seek refuge from Arabian Sunni Muslim and the United States of America in verifying their place in the Islamic world acceptance as a citizen. Forgive this author for his forwardness, but aren't one of these their slave catchers and the latter their slave master? Duh, wake up, people. What makes them think with Arabia that nationality is not important? Or the USA can give them freedom, their free national name. As I was saying, there is nothing wrong with Islam. In fact, has all in fact, Islam has always been perfect. Most Americans need only to step into Islam through the door Allah has provided for them, which is the only place the Negro problem can be solved. Just the same, if you already have Islamic aspirations and you believe you are an American black Negro with no idea of your free national name, it is a great possibility you are not getting the full light of your religion. As for Drew Ali authenticity, he did the equivalent greater for his Moorish American and all nations as all other prophets before him. He brought them Islam and their earthly salvation, those things necessary to reward them back from their fall from grace. No one before or since has brought them anything better from Allah. Amen. There have been many Moorish leaders branching from the divine works of Noble Drew Ali and Marcus M. Garvey. Some have gathered followers into the millions and even marched millions into Islam, but none of them taught our people their nationality or that they have their own religious creed. And equally as important, none of them freed the Moors from the constitutional hostage of the United States. None said they are truly a nation ordained by Allah into existence in 1865, etc., etc. Islam, Islam, Islam. I will now turn the reading over to our National Grand Secretary of State, Dr. Hatshepsut Tukankamen Bey. Islam.
Islam, gratitude. First of all, would rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our Consul General of Texas for opening up our meeting according to law, to our National Assistant Grand Secretary of State for reading our chapter, to Act One and our host instructor, giving honor to our family online and our scribes. Page 395, Allah or God, which one to praise? Prophet Noble Drew Ali, in returning to the Moorish their lofty estate, gave to them the name of their father God, Allah. He asked these questions of his people. Question, who made you? Answer, Allah. Question, who is Allah? Answer, Allah is the Father of the universe. Question, to whom do we refer to at times as being the great God? Answer, Allah. Every nation has a singular name for the great God, except the corporate United States and most Western governments under various umbrellas of Christian rule. Nowhere in the Western language is there a single name for the great God. So, to fill this spiritual void, most Christians are currently giving an African brother named Yehoshua the assumable title of God. This is about as close as the English language can get to the great God, other than calling themselves white, parentheses, God. This little tidbit goes unnoticed by most NBC people that have been following a Western Jesus, a son, and their horse named Ghost. However, the old Africans have always taught, Noble Drew Ali instructed the Moorish students in knowing the God you are serving by first realizing there is no difference between God and his name. Allah is the personal name of the great God in Aramaic, the language of Yehoshua, and a sister language, Arabic. Allah is the name of the one true God. There is nothing else that can be called Allah. To know the name of the great God is a blessing in itself. It can be used as a mantra. From the thought and manifested breath to say Allah, one utters an infinite force of the Almighty, Creator, and Sustainer of the universe, the causeless cause and the life giver of all worlds, seen and unseen. Allah has no gender, nor can this name be plural. Allah, when spoken from the heart, is the divine mantra uniting spirit man with his creator. Drew Ali says, the nearest place to meet Allah is in the heart. This is why man is never alone and his father is closer than his thought. Communication is endowed in the nature of all living things by its parent source. Example given, as chicks are to fowl, as kittens are to cats, or as a foal to the horse. This is especially true for man and his creator. The above does not hold true with the word God, especially as used by Western cultures. Although every tongue has a term used in reference to God, it can be made plural, gods, or feminine, goddess. The word God can also be bound and molded by man's highest ideals. And at that time, his ideal becomes his God. Example given: a monument, money, car, sex, power, nationalism, plant, beast, or religion, etc. The word God is predominantly applicable to earthly things or other manifests. The Holy Prophet teaches the Moors that God means ruler of the land. Question number 93. If one looks around the globe, it will only take a glance to confirm. The one who claims ownership of the land is also the one which exerts the power of God in ruling over all that is upon his land. Man-made gods are subject to change because they are made manifest. Man-made gods are subject to change because they are made in the finite durations called time. The word God, as made and applied by the nations of Europe, defines their sovereign accomplishments. This is why, quote unquote, in God we trust, glorifies presidential busts on all American currency. Quote unquote, so help me God, and in his God's holy name, Yehoshua, or Jesus, concludes swearing of oaths and prayers. Noble Drew Ali said, God means ruler of the land. Question number 93. European Freemasons proclaim themselves as God. This is demonstrated by the seventh letter G, placed in the center of their crossed compass and square. In the subjugation of Africa and the beginning of chattel slavery across the Atlantic, the Spaniards, Portuguese, Dutch, French, British, and other pale-skinned nationals gave themselves the title of white, not because of their color, but because of their lack of it thereof. They called themselves white because white means purity. And with the conquest of African peoples, they were to remain pure by not amalgamating with the black savages, quote unquote. As long as they did not mix with the blood of Africans, they would qualify for the supreme title of white, parentheses, white supremacy. The Moorish American prophet enlightened his nationals to the definition of the word white. Question number 93. Will you define the word white? Answer: white means purity, purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land. He also taught black was not a color, but just a word that means death. What most people of hue do not realize is whenever they say white man or praise Jesus, they call the Europeans their God. The point here is simple. The European Yehoshua of today, due to ethnic cleansing and religious alterations, is a man-made God. Catholics have made Mary the mother of God. All made white by the white man is godly. All these things are subject to change, whereas the great God is the immutable truth and infinite love. Truth did not change. Yehoshua himself, truth does not change. Yehoshua himself warned men about finite gods, no matter how holy they may appear to be or how appealing to the soul. Man's God today, tomorrow is not God. Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 10, ayat 16. Of all men, it is the ex-slaves of North America that need to re-examine their hearts to be assured that the God they serve is truly the God of Adam, Abraham, Yehoshua, and Muhammad. Otherwise, the God they serve is not their own, and they may actually be slaves to sin. Accept it or not, as Kunta Kinte was beat down so that Toby could survive, as the national names were denationalized from the Moorish tribes of northwest and southwest shores of Africa, then replaced with the false identifications of Negro, Black, Colored, Afro, etc. Like so, the religion of Christianity was whipped mercilessly into the people of hue. This forced out the consciousness of their true great God and replaced it with a belief in a God they can see. This new God, seen through eyes of fear, was named Lord, White Man, Jesus Christ, Master, I will obey, don't hurt me no more. The only relief from the genocide and oppression of Africans was found in the conformity of the European religious creed under the cross. To this day, the unconscious Moors will declare they are saved by the various leniencies bestowed upon them through the grace of these gods made by their masters. And so it shall remain until either be freed by truth or face more wrath of the great God, much worse than U.S. slavery. Besides, what level of thinking on earth can make anyone believe a slave master would provide his slave with a God greater than himself? Indeed, the white man gave the black man the best God he had to offer, himself. The church was not designed with the resurrection of Africans in mind. Yehoshua once said, "No servant is greater than his master." John chapter 16, verses 16 through 20. A true faith is an established friendship between the great God and man. What religion on earth will make the black man greater than the white man who made him? From the Islamic perspective, the use of landlord, "In God we trust, so help me God," and "Oh my God," has little to no significance to the one true God, Allah. Yet, in the West, the word God is given assumable jurisdiction for Yehoshua, Holy Mary, Mother of God, and most other white men. For man to realize Allah and consciously distinguish the great God from lesser gods, he must recognize him through his infinite attributes. Example given, Allah is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. There can be but one absolute creator. All others are themselves made by the imaginations of man and forged in time. Some people say the name of God is Elohim, but the Elohim are the seven creative thoughts of Allah, not the all of Allah. Chapter 1. The Elohim are those who said, "Let us make man." Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. When Moses was asked the name of Allah, he was instructed to say, "I am that I am." This meant the causeless cause and rootless root, that which has no beginning and no end, nor concerned with time. At that time, there was no name for God or the religion. Modern Christians in America have adopted the name Jehovah for God's name, but they still do not privately distinguish it from Yehoshua. Other people say that "thou should have no other God before me" means that their God is a jealous God. This has no bearing upon Allah, the sustainer of life. The great God is not influenced by jealousy, hatred, envy, or any other mere weaknesses of man. Jealousy is spurned from competition, and Allah, the creator of all things, did not create anything greater than himself. Meanwhile, what man interprets as a God's jealousy is merely his own karmic wrath resulting from going contrary to his divine nature. Of all the world's great religions, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, and Christianity, only the latter praise Yehoshua and refer to him as God. The others teach of him as a prophet, a Christ, or their brother man. The basic reason for this blasphemous theology rests deep in the European philosophy extracted from the Egyptian cultures. When the light of civilization finally shone upon the Greeks and Romans, they saw the African man, woman, and child as gods. Yehoshua was no exception, although they colored him in their image and likeness. In fact, it was Pope Julius II who paid Rachel and Michelangelo in 1508 to paint Yehoshua and other African biblical images to look European. In 1611, King James applied these new gods to his version of the Bible. Falsehood to and fro the earth, seeking whom it may devour, was now in full effect. Questions 74 through 75. As for Yehoshua, although he was born in Bethlehem of Judah in the house of David, by the time the Vatican bore him again, he now appears Roman. Now that's Italian. Most descendants of slaves born in America still serve the gods of their former slave masters. Their parents, who were forbidden to know Allah, handed down these gods to them. And although these gods have never freed them as a people, they believe it to be blasphemous to question the origin of their authority, images, and powers. In fact, the Bible has been changed over 315 times in its brief history, yet ex-slaves champion it as the Word of God. Still, Drali said, truth is aught, and aught is a law. Truth is immutable. Truth does not change nor pass away. Yehoshua told John, truth will make you free. John 8:32. Since Allah can be recognized by his infinite attribute of truth, which cannot change and will make man free, then surely after nearly 2,000 years of the word, highlighted with 400 years of slavery, would have freed God's people by now, if indeed the word was God. Actually, the fallen sons and daughters in the western shallow grave get the name Yehoshua from the Europeans, not from the East, example given Egypt, India, or Mecca. These places hold more truth about Yehoshua and the great God than the West has ever revealed. The Moorish American prophet describes the Western gods as having no eyes to see, no heart to sympathize, and no power to save. Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 3, ayat 19. Revealed truth demonstrates that Allah alone made the first physical man. However, mankind makes their own gods of themselves for themselves. Gods are the matrix of man's false sensation of salvation. He becomes sensitive and warlike in defense of the very God which is supposed to protect and guide. Men of the West claim to be monotheistic, yet he serves gods sculptured by hundreds of changes, sects, and denominations. When he tires of his present God, he merely goes around the corner and becomes a member of a more agreeable God. The Holy Quran, Surah 37, ayat 95, teaches openly against worshiping gods that man has carved for himself. Man praises the God most accommodative to his will. Often following the masses, he will knowingly serve a false god because of its popularity. For an example, Christmas is a god in the form of a pagan holiday. Most descendants of slaves give power and sacrifice money to an obese, bearded, quote-unquote white man to come down chimneys they do not have or fly reindeer in Trinidad. Their parents fed this lie to them, and now they feed it to their children. Ironically, although by the age of 5, the most blatant falsehood of this commercialized based holiday is realized. Still, they praise it in God's name from habit. When one travels the straight way to Allah, they have no other gods before the great God, nor do they compound the truth. Here in the U.S., the First Amendment right to freedom of religion is rarely executed in the praises of the one true God. Rather, it is commonly exploited as a privilege for polytheism. Yet, what good Christian American would call himself a pagan? Moorish Americans, as a clean and pure nation, give all praises to Allah only. Lesser gods may or may not be worthy of honor, but never praised. All should know the difference. Islam. So at this time, we want to turn the meeting back into the hands of our host, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shadwa Menti El Mohajjed Shabsuel. Islam.
And Islamism, can you hear me, sister?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Gratitude, Islam, praise be to Allah. Islam, Islamism. Well, having already risen, we continue to rise in ascension upon the seventh within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God, Allah, Father God, Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and Bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything that our Holy Prophet brought to make us a nation. I want to give honors to this grand drawing that we have on the manifest. I'm your host instructor, Dr. Shahid Imani Mohadi Shabazel. And my ancient Comedian high name being the same as Dr. Shedawal Menti El Mohajid Shepsuel. And this is a grand ears session. Very powerful. And all of that in which was read by our scribes, again, is most necessary to lay a foundation for what it is that we had to bring on the manifest. And I want to revisit a particular measure, being that our scribes are now more familiar with the conversation between the difference between modern Arabic and Quranic Arabic, and just knowing the different rules. We want to revisit a measure that we had in a dialogue not long ago, and then we'll move forward, because this is key. Just a brief recap. It's always good to have things in the archives to further one along the way so that we may know what it is that we demonstrate. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen first, and then I'm going to go further into the measures that we had to bring forth. Praise be to Allah. I'm going to just hit entire screen, and then that way we make sure everything is being shared, because sometimes if you share the tab or the window and you think you still shared, the next thing you know, you done went somewhere else. And let me open that up, also expand it. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go back here. I want y'all to pay attention to this close, family, and let me know if you hear the sound. Let's see.
But I want to ask you, good brother.
Can y'all hear the sound, family?
Islam.
I just paused it. Okay, you do hear it?
Yes.
Okay, Islam.
Admitted that you're a non-believer, right? I just heard you say that earlier, right? Nothing against you for that. But I will have to say this: in order for you to be the authority on teaching anything on Quran, you would have to be a scholar in Quran, right? And so the reason I'm saying this is, yes, you would have to, because there's certain things you don't know about the Quran. I'm gonna ask you a question, because you stay in Hadith, right? You speaking a lot of Hadith, but the Hadith don't govern Islam. And I tell the Arab Muslims this, not only you, but the Hadith is not supreme over the Quran. And if the Hadith contradicts the Quran, you reject that. You see?
Correct.
So,
I agree.
Does the Quran not say that it is the only Hadith?
Does the Quran say what?
Does the Quran not say that it is the only Hadith?
No,
I want
it
to
doesn't.
see how honest you're going to be with it. But I want to ask you, good brother, you admitted that you're a non-believer, right? I just heard you say that.
Okay, Islam. Okay, and so what we have, this is very important, because a lot of our people think that we have to be Arabized in order to deal with the Arabia, in the Quran. And here we have one, we already know this one is definitely atheist and so forth and so on, don't even honor Islam. So that lets you know he don't even care to study Islam, so to speak, right? But he's born in Egypt. He speaks the Arabic language, but he don't speak Quranic Arabic, because you can't speak Quranic Arabic. But here he is, basically putting an opinion out here in reference to dealing with the language, and how the Quran is not this, and most of his arguments are based off the Hadith. And that's why you heard me say what I said to him, and so to push his narrative and be seen as an authority, a lot of people would think, oh yeah, he was born over there, he speak Arabic, been speaking all his life, but that don't mean he understand Quranic Arabic. Now, some people may think that this is an arrogant statement, because he born, he raised up. I'm just telling you the truth. According to, the teaching of Islam, it's important that we emphasize this, though. Because even Arabs that do study Islam, and they growed up in Islam, a lot of people don't know that they haven't even studied the teachings of Islam that extensive, outside of the ones who out there claiming to be imams and teachers. But the average run-the-mill, day-to-day Arab don't know Islam like people think they do. They don't understand the Quran because they understand Arabic. This is very important that our people understand this now. You understand? Just like a Christian. They could have been grown up
listening to the King James version of the Bible all their life. You know, their father may be a pastor. It's a whole bunch of pastors in the community, you know, preachers and reverends and everything else. But you got some people, though they speak the English language, don't even know nothing about the Bible. Ain't even read it. And then some that have read it, they really don't have no understanding of what's in the book. You see what I'm saying? Even people that reading it day to day, because they ain't trying to understand it. Somebody else gave them that understanding that they have, you know? But that's a whole nother measure. But I'm just pointing this out. So this guy, you know, was on there, and I was called, you know, to sit on the panel. As we know, we let our family see this a while back. But in the light of what you know now, it's going to be even more illuminated as to this conversation. As you can see, he agreed with me, you know, in regards to dealing with the Quran not being superior to Hadith. But when I asked him the question in the end, you know, does not the Quran say that it is the best Hadith? He say that's incorrect, and he wrong for saying that, because the Quran does say that, you know, and we done proved this, so we ain't got to go into that part. But watch this, because this is important. It's leading up to where we are now, and you're gonna see this guy and the brother Morpheus, because this is Morpheus brought him on more than likely, you know, because they agree with each other, but they are dealing with classical Arabic in their mind, but it's really not classical Arabic they're dealing with standard Arabic, calling it classical, because regular day-to-day Arabic is not the same, you know, as what we would call Quranic Arabic. So let me go to this next clip right here, because I got a few of them I want to run real quick. Okay, let's see here. To the brother, does the Quran not say that it is the only hadith?
No,
I
it
want to
doesn't.
see how honest you're gonna be.
Don't say that, brother.
The Quran don't say that. I'm
No.
gonna show you in a minute, right?
Come on.
I'm gonna show you Quran in a minute. I'm gonna get back to you, because I'm gonna ask you about this thing, about this Tawheed, Morpheus. I want to deal with this brother first. So, Adam, now,
Yes.
if the Quran, is the Quran considered hadith before hadith that was written later?
Well, you're gonna you're gonna pull words out of its own meaning. Hadith
No, sir,
is
I'm
a
asking
classification.
you one question, Adam.
I know.
It's a yes or no.
If you look at the way he looked off when I asked him that question, he like, oh man, I'm in trouble now. So now he's trying to explain, you know, what I'm gonna say before I say it, or trying to interpolate, you know, his measure into what he think I'm gonna say, but he still can't get away with it. Just pay attention. Look at him. Watch him when I ask him the question. Does the Quran not say that it is the only hadith?
No,
I
it
want to
doesn't.
see how honest you're gonna be.
Don't say that, brother.
The Quran don't say that. I'm gonna show you in a minute, right?
Come on.
I'm gonna show you Quran in a minute. I'm gonna get back to you, because I'm gonna ask you about this thing, about this Tawheed, Morpheus. I want to deal with this brother first. So, Adam, now,
Yes.
if the Quran, is the Quran considered hadith before hadith that was written later?
Well, you're gonna you're gonna pull words out of its own meaning. Hadith
No, sir,
is
I'm
a
asking you one
classification.
question, Adam.
I know.
It's a yes or no.
That's
Hold
not
on,
an answer.
you gotta let him answer though. You gotta
Oh,
let
I'm
him
gonna let
answer.
him answer, sir. Trust me, you ain't got to do that. I'm gonna let him answer. I just want him to answer the question so we don't have to be long and drawn out.
But you cannot ask a question and say, "Oh, I needed a yes or no answer," when the answer is not as simple as a yes or no answer. Because
does the Quran not say that?
Basically, he's saying that can't be a yes or no answer. I asked him one regular question, and he wants to be able to explain why he's saying what he's saying. But the Quran says it is the only hadith. It says the best hadith too. Y'all already seen this. I done put it out there many times, you know, but he, on the other hand, is trying to push a narrative. So this is where you show one is being disingenuous about the approach, you know, because he know if he admit it, you know, then basically that gives credence to what I'm bringing forth. You see, because he trying to push this measure that I'm an expert in the Arabic, you know, and I can tear the Holy Quran and the teachings of Islam down. That's what he's doing right now. He's trying to tear Islam down, you know, and he got the brother Morpheus with him, you know, and so I come forth to defend Islam in the Quran, so to speak, because it ain't nobody else that's evidently willing to stand up, you know, and stand in defense of the book, even though some of them people in that chat is Muslim. You know, they scared to get up there because this guy is a so-called self-proclaimed Arab-speaking person. And so though I don't speak Arabic in the language aspect, that ain't got nothing to do with how I understand the Quran. And also, I've studied the Quran longer than he has been trying to attack the Quran. You see what I'm saying? So that automatically, if one is in their right state of mind, know that ain't gonna be a good look for this guy. If he don't know nothing about the Quran, he's just attacking Islam through the hadiths. You know, he can't get past that. And the only claim to fame is that I growed up speaking Arabic. So this is a prime example. You don't need to know Arabic, you know, in order to deal with this nonsense, even if it was coming from somebody that claimed they was Muslim too. You see? Watch this. Okay. Let me see right here. Here we go.
Well, was it really coming from God or was it coming from the Prophet? If it was coming from the Prophet, then I can't classify it as hadith. If it was coming directly from God, that is not hadith.
Good brother, I asked you a question, and I'm going to ask it again. Is not the Quran considered hadith?
Not to the classification of the word hadith today.
Okay.
You want to use your own
okay,
classification, so that's up to you.
Okay, it's not according to my classification. I got numerous areas where I'm going to show you the Quran is considered hadith. It is considered hadith. And the Quran tells you not to write hadith outside of the Quran. So now, I ask you, brother, how long after the Quran was revealed that hadiths came? And did they come directly from Prophet Muhammad, or did they come from the Sahaba? I just want to go ahead and answer that question.
Well, was it really coming from God or was it coming from?
See how he was uncomfortable, you know, because he know good and well them hadiths wasn't written by Prophet Muhammad. He know that they was written by people after him and written 200 years after he had passed from, right? So he's uncomfortable again. He know he ain't dealing with your average run-the-mill NBC when it comes to dealing with this demonstration. You see? And the key is I'm showing you how people can come up as charlatans and put themselves up there as authority. Oh, he growed up speaking Arabic. And again, you got people running to it. You can even see some people in the chat. Man, how this brother gonna tell somebody that growed up speaking Arabic and they don't understand the measure that I'm even coming forth with? What I'm saying is over their head. You know, it's already over there. Some of them. Some people get it, but some individuals, they already got a bias against Islam and Muslims. So they're going to accept whatever they think this guy trying to bring forth because they think it's going to make Islam look bad or they're going to tear it down. You see, and I'm letting it be known easy. You know, this ain't nothing we got to stretch to do. And like this guy right here is, you know, he is not an authority. You know, because he speak standard Arabic. He don't deal with Quranic Arabic. The man told you he was an unbeliever. He agreed to it. So that right there lets you know he's not an expert on Islam. But, you know, this is the way that individuals begin to think. You know, so we got to be able to look at these things and watch out for them. And don't never let this type of stuff intimidate you. That's what I want our people. You hear somebody, even if they say they study Islam or they Muslim, do not think not with Arabia. Do not let that intimidate you. You know, if you know what you know, can't nobody take it from you. And in the case of where I'm at, I know what I know. So he can't just tell me anything. You know, even if he was a Muslim, he couldn't just tell me anything. You see, and I done had conversation with actual Muslims. That's why I know some of them ain't studied. Some of them done told me, brother, I got to give honest to you. You know, I don't know all the stuff you saying, man. I just know the basic teaching of Islam. I come from Saudi Arabia or whatever, but brother, I commend you for your studies and your research, you know, so that's, and I've heard that a couple of times. So I know a lot of them different brothers are not familiar with Islam as people think they are. That's the main thing, assumption. Don't assume nothing, you know, because you already know what assumption is. So go ahead, watch this here. Okay. Let me pull the other one up. Okay.
It's some will debate that the hadith came about 200 years later.
That's right.
Some people will argue that there were actually hadith that was written at the time of the Prophet.
That's right.
There are two arguments for that, and you have a massive split between the Sunni and the Shia on how we classify hadith and what is supposed to be considered authentic and what's not.
Okay,
and are the Sahaba
so you answered the question.
It will branch in a much bigger.
So you answered the questions and you answered them, but people, he answered this question honestly. Now, being that you acknowledge Abu Huraira as being an authority because it's Sahih, right? The Muslim world accept Abu Huraira as being Sahih, right?
Yes.
Are you aware that Abu Huraira stated that he was writing hadith and Prophet Muhammad came to him and asked him, what are you writing?
Mm-hmm.
And he told him to stop writing that and don't write it no more. And they burned the hadiths.
Yes. It's some
okay, so you heard this guy. You know what I mean? You heard him admit everything I said. And he spoke honestly first, but then he admitted everything that I said, right? So he know exactly what I'm talking about, and he know what he's dealing with, you know, at this particular point. So let me see here. I don't know. I put that thing up there in the big portion. Okay. All of this is very relevant to what we getting ready to go with the information. It's always good to be sharp and up. Okay, here we go right here. You aware that Abu Huraira stated that he was writing hadith and Prophet Muhammad came to him and asked him, what are you writing?
Mm-hmm.
And he told him to stop writing that and don't write it no more. And they burned the hadiths.
Yes.
But
are you also aware of another hadith?
Hold up, good brother. Hold up.
But you have to say the other hadith that
conflicts. Hold up. You answered the question. So if he told them to burn them, and I got the hadith, you admitted it, so I ain't got to put it up there. So you admitted it. So if Muhammad told them to burn the hadith, and they burned it, 200 years later after him, they start using hadith. Who is in the wrong? Because we supposed to live Muhammad say. The Sahaba supposed to follow what Muhammad say.
You're messing it all
up. My brother.
No,
what you're doing here.
Go ahead.
What you're doing here, my friend, is presenting. Right? Yes, what you're doing here is known as presenting half facts. So
you aware that Abu Huraira stated? So he said, I'm presenting hard fact. Yeah, too hard for you to basically be able to accept. You know, and we see the brother Morpheus want to chime in now because he like, wait a minute, we can't let this go down like this right here. You know, and the main thing is, it's not even having anything against the hadiths. The thing is that it's recorded by somebody that is sound among the Sahabas, and it is said that he said that Prophet Muhammad told him to burn him up when he found out he was writing. So, you know, I was using that example to show that a lot of times when certain Orthodox brothers try to act like they following Prophet Muhammad to the T, that they have already deviated. Their ancestors have deviated down the line. You see what I'm saying? So this is why we don't think with Arabia. You see? And saying that ain't got nothing to do with taking a shot at Prophet Muhammad because he Arabian or because he Arab. You know, it's simply saying that we're not getting caught up with this Bedouin Arab ideology. We don't say that from a hate-filled standpoint. We just know that ain't got nothing to do with the text of Islam. And people can be confused and misled, even when it comes down to dealing with the language itself and the rules of understanding the language. And that's what I'm dealing with here. I'm dealing with two people that's dealing with standard Arabic. Both of them deal with standard Arabic. Neither one of them don't go into the essence of Quranic Arabic. And they're trying to interpret the Quran, with standard Arabic. And you cannot do that because the meaning is automatically altered. It's changed. You see? Now, had they just been up there and allowed to make this conversation and I wouldn't have been present, then it wouldn't have been balanced up there. The people would go away thinking that these guys are superior in intelligence, in regards to dealing with this subject matter. And then next thing you know, you got a whole bunch of people being misled based on this information that they heard here. So praise be to Allah. I was invited to be the check in the balance in the situation, so to speak. So ones will have the opportunity to see if they want to see, like we say, those who are already biased, they don't care anyway. Let us keep moving on real quick here because we're getting to the nitty gritty. Okay, let's see here. All right. I think I just did that one right there so I can back out of it. Go ahead.
Let him go.
Yeah, I'm going to let him go, and I'm finna pull this up. Okay, yeah, this is one.
You're pulling one hadith that says the Prophet told Abu Huraira off not to write the hadith, but then you're ignoring that there is another hadith where the Prophet commended those who wrote the hadith after him. Now, you got to see at all sides of the argument.
Now, I'm going to show you what he's doing. He's saying that Prophet Muhammad commended hadith after him in another hadith. What that would automatically do is that would cancel the hadith all the way out, according to what they call, Islamic science, family. If a hadith contradicts another hadith, then you don't deal with either one of them. You don't accept either one of them. You see what I'm saying? That's how the Islamic science go, according to the scholars of Islam. Now, on the other hand, that hadith that he quoting ain't got nothing to do with Muhammad saying that he commends one for using hadith. Prophet Muhammad is recorded in them hadiths, according to other people, that it is said that he said, don't write anything from me, narrate it. In other words, speak it orally. Relay what he say orally. Don't write it in a book, because he didn't want it to get mixed up. So you see how, again, so I'm quoting the hadith that he trying to quote and twist it, but I'm quoting the proper aspect of what's being said from the same hadith book. He said basically orally state what he say. Don't write it down, again, because he don't want it to get misconstrued or mixed up or misrepresented as Quran. That was the main reason why he didn't want them to do that, which is what's going on right now. You even got some Arabs that study Islam, that's all they quote is the hadith. You be like, well, what the Holy Quran? What the Quran say? And that same tradition has been passed down to most of the NBC Muslims. They be quoting hadith like coming home. Man, goodness gracious. Me and the chairman and our sheik, we done seen all this right here. They think they more Arab than the Arab. All the while they don't know nothing about the Quran. And I experienced that years ago dealing with a bunch of Orthodox brothers. And even back then, I was like, brother, I don't know. It's just something Allah put in me. I don't know. But I was like, man, look, bro. And this is before I was even fully knowledgeable with all the materials behind me. I'm like, bro, the Quran is all we need. No, brother, you can't. No, you got that. They didn't like that. I'm like, brother, we don't need the Quran. We don't need nothing. The Quran is, and I did see the hadith aspect in the Arabic back then, but I was more saying the Quran is all we need. We don't need nothing against that. I read it. I like hadiths. I like some of the wisdom, but I'm just saying, don't try to put that up over the Quran, because you're wrong when you do that. You know, so I ain't one of them people that like you got some people out, they call them Quranists. You know, certain people they like, man, the hadith is an innovation, it's bitter. They go in, they don't want to deal with it at all. And so the so-called Sunnis call them Quranists. You know, and I have no problem with their approach. You know, I just having an aspect of open wisdom. I say if the hadith is outlandish and it's something that demean the character of Prophet Muhammad, you know, and it can't be substantiated by the Quran, you know, if it don't support that right there, then that's how I deal with it, so to speak. I read a lot of stories that might have some wisdom and got certain drawings in them, but if it go out there and say some crazy stuff, and then it contradict the Quran, and you know, you can't blame Prophet Muhammad for that because he didn't write the hadith, you know, and nor should you have to rationalize and be like, well, dang, I thought this said this and that said, you know, it don't work like that. The Quran is the authority. All them other books ain't nothing but commentary, so to speak. That's all it is. But anyway,
Let him go.
yeah, I'm gonna let him go, and I'm finna pull this up while you go.
You're pulling one hadith that says the Prophet told Abu Huraira off not to write the hadith, but then you're ignoring that there is another hadith where the Prophet commended those who wrote the hadith after him. Now, you gotta see at all sides of the argument. You cannot just pull one hadith off and say, well, there you go. The Prophet said, do not write the hadith after me. Well, in another area, the Prophet said, well, you can write hadith after me. And I can prove that, but I will need to find the actual hadith for you. So no, it's not like the Prophet said, do not write the hadith after me, period, end of the story. That's what you're trying to do. You present it as if it's period, end of the story. Why did they write hadith? Well, because there's another hadith that commends writing hadith. So which one are you? That's a rhetorical question.
Go ahead.
Let him go.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him go, and I'm finna pull this up while you go. I mean, you can actually see the people in the side saying that Prophet Muhammad forbidden hadith. You know, so it's some other people that's knowledgeable as well. But you know, that's one of the gods. That's an Arabian god that has been created, so to speak, whether you know it or not. Just like the chairman was talking about them different European, that's an Arabian god that has been created, you know, and that's why the Islamic world has been so divided and tore up.
So which one are you? That's a rhetorical question. I'm not asking really. But
I would ask.
So hold up. I'm answering this question, Morpheus. I'm gonna let you speak. I'm gonna get to you because we want to get to the bottom of this. And here we have to source up a shut up. So I can't come against this man argument without presenting something that is seen. I ain't got to go long and draw it out. I'm gonna show you one thing. I got many of them, but I'm gonna show you one thing that's gonna kill everything this guy just said. See, this is why you can't listen to people.
Don't talk. Just
don't
do
know
it.
what they say.
Do it.
Morpheus, hold up. Just let me do this
it.
here, brother. Let's keep it a positive bill.
No,
Let me
brother.
share my screen and stop. Let me
We don't-
share
All
my
right.
screen.
Come on. Just get it. Let's go.
Okay,
Let's go.
let me share the screen real quick.
No preamble. Just go.
Okay, let me make sure I got it shared here. All right. And so at this particular time, we know Morpheus is frustrated because he don't like what's happening to this guy he done invited to this platform to try to disparage Islam. You know, he didn't see this coming up. You know, they was dancing. You know, like my cousin used to say back in the day, dance now with your bad self. You know, they were dancing and juking, so to speak. You know, and till we came in there and went to asking questions. You know?
I'm gonna let you do this, but
now, what? Let me ask you a question. What does it say right here, buddy? Read that right there. Ayat 6 right here. Right here, good brother. Read that. What does that say?
ومن الناس من يشتري لهو الحديث ليضل عن سبيل الله بغير علم ويتخذ هزو أولئك لهم عذاب مهين.
This word right here is hadith, right?
Mm-hmm.
El hadith. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now look at what it says here.
Where is it in the translation?
No, look, I'm finna show you the translation, but it's up here. Me and you agree that this Arabic
You see-
word is hadith. You
right.
see what that's highlighting, right?
But did you know? Hang on. Do you know what the word hadith means?
Okay, so now he uncomfortable. He trying to explain what hadith mean because I just got him to read it, so he can't turn back from it now because I had him read it. You know, so he agreed that I'm pointing out the word hadith. Now my scribes, you know, even y'all pretty much by now should be able to identify these letters right here, that they are indeed hadith, you know. And so watch this now, watch this. Look, hold up, brother.
No. You need to understand
the thing before you try
the
to
word
get rhetorical.
doesn't always mean the hadith of the prophet. I'm gonna let you do.
See, his argument is that this is not saying it's the hadith of Prophet Muhammad. See, that's what you call a straw man argument. Because I'm not speaking of this Quran as being the hadith of Muhammad. I made that plain from the time I spoke earlier. You see? And so now he's trying to use that to divert the audience and say, well, this is not saying the hadith of Muhammad, but that still ain't going to protect his measure from what I'm coming forth with. You know, because at the end of the day, watch this. All it takes is a little insight. Okay, let's see where it is. We almost done through them. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they call that removing the goalpost indeed. Good brother, you still ain't listening to what I'm saying. I'm trying to show you something. It says here, hadithi. I heard you read it, the people heard you, and we both agree this is hadith, right?
It means tales in this context.
That's right. And so Allah said there are some who employ theatrics and only lead others away from Allah's way without any knowledge and make a mockery of it. And they will only suffer humiliating punishment. And the term employing theatrics corresponds to idle tales, you see, in this translation. So in other words, it was telling you about people using hadith outside of this to mislead people from Allah's way. Me, I don't put the hadith over the Quran. Every argument you made was based off of hadith. And if it don't coincide with the Quran, you cannot act as if the Quran is supporting it. Yeah, basically what I was showing him, they had the word theatrics here. You seen idle tales up there. So imagining that someone came forth and just used the word idle tales here, then it would read, but there are some who employ idle tales only to lead others away from Allah's way without any knowledge and to make mockery of it, and they will suffer a humiliating punishment. Now let's use the original word there instead of theatrics. But there are some who employ hadith only to lead others away from Allah's way without any knowledge and to make a mockery of it, and they will suffer humiliating punishment. Now it give you a grand revelation, don't it? It make you understand exactly what's going on. We're showing you the context in which the word is used, and we're showing you that this is before hadith was even written. The Quran was revealed first. So it was already telling you that this shouldn't be done, because they knew that it was going to lead people away from Allah's way. And that's what Muhammad was saying. So now, prime example, I would consider Prophet Muhammad telling them that don't write no hadith, burn it up. I would call that hadithi Qudsi. Hadithi Qudsi means holy hadith. Why is it holy hadith? Because Muhammad told them people to burn that demonstration up. He told them, he said that according to the book now, Abu Hurairah, who is a reliable source, he one of the Sahabas, a close companion, he said that he told him to burn them up. He also said that he told him to narrate instead of writing stuff down because he didn't want people to be misled. And what is the Quran saying here? It's saying that this hadith that is employed
by some will only lead others away from Allah's way. So that thought actually agrees with what Muhammad thought is, according to what the brother Abu Huraira said about Muhammad. So it's in what the Islamic scholarship where they would say, well, it's safe to honor that particular hadith, so to speak. It's like a check and a balance. But notice it says they will lead them away from Allah's way without any knowledge. Because they don't have Muhammad's knowledge. They didn't get the Quran revealed to them. So of course, if they come up with anything that we can say contradicts, the Quran and not correspond with the Quran, this is because they lack the knowledge. And look, it says, and to make mockery of it. So if your hadith is making mockery of Allah's way and what Prophet Muhammad brought, if it's contradicting that and causing people to frown upon Islam, then you're going to be dealt with for writing that. It say, woe unto those who write the book and say this is from Allah. That's another measure in the Quran it say. You see, so it say they will suffer a humiliating punishment. So, that's between them and the great God. But I'm showing you that Allah didn't play with no add and unknown to what it is that he demonstrated. You see what I'm saying? Now watch this. And this guy up here steady trying to move the goalpost. He trying to run. And say he's then talking about the hadith, Muhammad, and all that extra stuff. So we got a few more here, and we're gonna get into this other drawing that we have.
Let him talk now.
This hadith here is not the hadith that you're talking about. You're mixing words. You're presenting a wrong argument.
Can I land my plane, sir?
Let him land his plane. Come on, land your plane. This they show.
Don't cut me
already
off.
know. This they show.
It's they show, but I'm just saying respectfully, if he open for question, let me land it.
Yeah,
so
land your plane.
If the hadith is stated by Allah himself and saying that they who write it out of it, these idle tales, these are the ones that's going to suffer humiliating punishment. Any Muslim, even Muhammad himself, if he would have wrote hadith out of that, he would have been outside of the law. That's why he told Abu Huraira to burn it up. Stop writing them. So that being said, your arguments that you have, brother, would have to be based on Quran and not the hadith. Show me what you said in the Quran, not what the hadith said. That's what I want to say.
All right.
Let him stop right there.
All right. Go ahead, brother.
And so that put him against the wall because his arguments are not based on the errors in the Quran. Here's everything that this guy put out here in this whole video, because I seen the whole drawing. I was present on some of it. It was based on arguing against the hadith and then trying to make it look like the Quran was saying what the hadith said. You see, and so it was a real conniving way, disingenuous. But I mean, you got people out there that's what they're doing. They're making it their job to attack Islam, for whatever reason. I don't know.
And thank you for having me.
Hey, Morpheus, see, this is what I'm talking about, Morpheus.
Yes, sir.
This is a young rising star right here, Morpheus.
I'll drop off, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Adam.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right.
Trying to tell you, man, this is why the Arm and Raw squad is running from this young champion coming up, Morpheus.
I don't.
No, I'm not talking about you because see, you know the Arabic. I'm talking about Unk and them. They running from this young champion right here, brother. And shout out to my man Kingdom Harbinger, my brother Divine Prospect. Shout out to you, brother.
Yes, sir. And brother Morpheus, I love the brother, but him knowing Arabic ain't gonna keep me off him neither. Because he made a statement.
That's
he
right,
made a
champion.
statement.
Come on, watch this.
Check this out. Watch this.
No, hold on. No,
and thank you for having me.
Okay.
Hey, Morpheus, see this.
So yeah, all right. So the other guy, you see, he left. He got on up off of there and went on about his business. We already know when you go to bringing the heat, so to speak, with the truth, a lot of individuals, they can't deal with it. They got to go. And this continues.
So when we deal with ahad, it means the oneness of God in this person, idea of a second being inconceivable. Huh? And
All
it
right.
signifies the uniqueness of God and his
All
attributes.
right. All
It
right.
does not mean
Goddamn.
one of. That's it.
All right. All right. My
It
man
don't
is
mean one
saucing
of.
up, yo. He's saucing up. This young stallion is saucing up, man.
Watch this.
That's
Watch
that
this.
Malachi York Arabic.
Watch
All right,
this.
let him.
That's, and I found out the brother Morpheus was a follower of Malachi York. So it explained why his perception is the way it is, you know. And the measures dealing with the word ahad and wahad, you know, he's trying to say that the word ahad means one of, you know, and therefore meaning Allah is like a, you know, like a Trinitarian type of demonstration. It's more than one Allah. It's God's and plural. And I'm telling him, no, brother, that ain't what the Quran. He's trying to say that's one of the imperfections. And most likely that's one of the arguments that Malachi York would demonstrate in some of his information, which led to his situation of karma that he's dealing with right now in most cases, you know, because of this type of stuff that he put out here. And so a lot of these people be former Nuwabians, and they had all this different mismatch and hodgepodge of information. So I'm gonna show you something in a minute on this information that we're dealing with.
Let him go. Let Morpheus go.
Watch this. This is easy. Watch this. This is easy. Share my screen real quick. Let me show you how easy pseudo out of here. Watch this.
You got to blow it up a little bit. Yours is real
I
small.
didn't get there. Watch this. Share screen. Let's do this in real time, ladies and gentlemen. In real time. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Let's look at the word one. What does it say, Saad?
Wahid.
Thank you.
Huh? What?
Wahid. What I keep saying.
Yeah,
Wahid.
Wahid. Wow.
So when we deal with ahad, it means the oneness
Okay,
of God
so
in his person.
he's saying wahid, right? And saying it means one of, right? Now he typed that in Google Translate, which is not dealing with Quranic Arabic, but standard modern day-to-day Arabic, and saying, see, it means one of. But when we come here in this Arabic dictionary, you can see that the word wahid signifies uniqueness of God and his attributes, meaning that this is him alone. So you talking about one of, that don't apply. So this is important that you know these rules, because if not, somebody can deceive you. And that's what happened with the brother Morpheus. He don't know Quranic Arabic. He knows modern standard Arabic, and he is trying to apply that conversation to the Quran, and you just can't do that. See, and even with ahad, he's saying it mean one of. Ahad signifies oneness of Allah in his person. You see, the idea of a second being inconceivable. You see, so that killed the brother's whole argument. And I'm sitting there going back and forth with him, trying to get him to see. I'm like, brother, you right in what you say in modern standard Arabic, but you wrong in what you say as you apply that to Quranic Arabic. If he could just admit and say, yeah, brother, you know, you right, you know, not because I want to be right, but because the information is right, then, you know, we wouldn't even have to go back. But he won't say that.
Of a second being inconceivable.
Yeah, he won't say that, because he know if he admits that, then that's going to basically say that he was wrong in what he stated. And that's the problem when it comes to dealing with information. People don't like to admit when they're wrong.
Huh? And
All
it
right.
signifies the uniqueness of God and his
All
attributes.
right.
Okay, so hold up real quick. I got another one right here. And this is going back and forth over the grammar, family. That's why I say a lot of this is very important to be known. You know, this is like real time right here, you know? So, okay, here we go. We got one more after this right here.
Commission. You done called everybody out. They
Yes, sir.
backpedaling, they running. Let's see if Brother La run from you next. That's all.
That's who I want.
Commission.
He be in the, y'all like to throw shots low key
Yeah.
at me. I want Law. I want him to get in the ring.
Commission. There's
me
a lot
see.
of Commission. There's a lot of mistakes you make Islamically. There's a lot of mistakes you make.
That's your opinion. You don't know me to say that.
Now, this is a brother that's a Muslim right here. It's a lot of mistakes you make Islamically. which ain't got nothing to do with the information being put out here. He ain't got the courage to get up here and say nothing to this dude that just left, a Morpheus up here talking against Islam, but he want to come at me. I'm defending the Quran. I'm defending Prophet Muhammad, and he want to come at me for cool points. And this guy right here, the one I was saying I wanted to address, is because this brother is always one who he's Muslim, but he always trying to take shots at the Moors low key, and I've overlooked it a lot of times. You know, try to call me a kafir and an unbeliever, and I overlook it. You know, so instead of letting him throw rocks and hide his hand, I was like, all right, let me have a conversation, because I know he ain't even nowhere near being able to have that conversation. That's why I tried to overlook it, because I don't bully people with information. But since you want to keep attacking Prophet Noble Ali, you know, attacking the people, now we're going to expose you, you know, because y'all ain't going to listen when we come out there cordial with you. So now we got to pull the scimitar out. You know, that's the only thing y'all understand. Prophet Noble Ali said it best. The only thing our people understand, you know, is that scimitar, the point of the scimitar, you know, and that's basically what's going on with this demonstration. Because if you get up there and try to give them the draw and say, okay, this is, you know, so rosy, peacefully, you know, they're going to try to run over you. This is one lesson that I want my scribes and everybody to know. When you try to speak, you know, in the realms of being as humble and pious as you can, your people going to try to run over you. Now, you know, that ain't going to never draw me out of character where I go to get mad and upset, you know, but I'm going to do what the Quran say. I'm going to give you equality, but I'm going to give you equality not with raising up, getting mad. I'm going to hit you with more truth. Now I'm finna rainstorm, a hailstorm, the truth at this time, you know, and that's how I deal with those situations, you know, so that those who are listening and looking can learn the difference between a dirty cup of water and a pure cup of water, if they want to drink some clean water. Good brother. That's your opinion. You don't know me to say that, good brother. I respect what you're saying, though, right? I respect your opinion, but that's your opinion.
You did not invent the religion. You have to understand there's a lot of mistakes you make.
That's your opinion, good brother. So I told this brother after he tried to make an attack upon my character, I respect his opinion, but he don't know me to say what he's saying. You see? And so it is what it was. Even in that case, I ain't mad at you. That's your opinion. You say some mistakes I make Islamically. I ain't finna argue with you. That's what you say. But you don't know me to say that. And so I still took the high road, even in regards to dealing with that. And this is the last one we're going to run right here. You know, and this is all over individuals. Some people want to learn. Some don't want to learn. Some don't really come to learn. Some come to attack. I call it ambush scholarship.
Africans had embraced Islam, right? It's there. He said in his speech that it has to be redeemed for African people.
That's right.
I don't have a problem. It has to be redeemed for African people. So I'm not separated. I'm just telling you, I heard it. I'm not separating myself from what Dr. John Henry Clarke says, because there's a lot of meaning in what he meant. So with that, with that said, that's not enough to separate me from my teacher. We will have to do this again. But
yeah, I'm not talking about separating you from him, Reggie. I'm saying more on his approach as how he dealt with people belief. Because he said that he respect people belief when they live by it. You know, I think you should have that same.
Africans had embraced Islam.
Yeah, basically, that was just a statement what a brother John Henry Clarke was saying, that Islam was going to have to be redeemed by African people, you know, in order for it to be come powerful like it was. And he had asked me, what is it that make me different from my teacher? What make you think that I don't demonstrate? And I said his approach in his respect for Islam, as opposed to that brother, he, you know, deaf to the Muslims and all type of crazy stuff come out his mouth about Islam. Dr. Clarke didn't demonstrate like that. So with all them statements being made, family, I'm just showing you going back and forth with these one that think that they are superiors in the Arabic. You know, they can't get that stuff by, you know, on one. You know, and like I said, I got it. I got the video out there. All you got to do is go look at the videos that we have out there dealing with, you know, the teachings of Islam. The last couple of videos I done, and I showed everything about the hadiths when Muhammad went into them and everything. But the main thing is we are saying don't confuse the grammar, because this brother was saying wahid, right? He was using the word wahid and saying it means one of, right? Now this here, for example, right? This is Moroccan Arabic, which is not Quranic Arabic. This is Moroccan Arabic, right? So this is just one of the many dialects. The word wahad, or wahid, or wahada, in both cases still mean one, don't it? It don't mean one of. And this is just dealing with numbers itself, because we know when we count, it's wahad. You know, but when you deal with ahad, it means one as well. So that's why I say, and that's it. This is the Moroccan Arabic. So this Moroccan Arabic will be closer to Quranic Arabic, because they saying wahad mean the same thing it mean in the Arabic dictionary. But if you don't know no better, and you see somebody else come up with another statement, and you take that, that's the first definition, you know, you run with it. You know, so this is a basic. This ain't even Quranic Arabic here, but you still have certain things that are similar as far as the letters and things like that. It's just when you get into the context of the meaning that you have to know a knowledge. So this right here may teach you, for example, this is Arabic. This is regular Arabic now. It may teach you the different forms and the structure of the beginning, the middle, and the end letters. See right here? They demonstrating it. See? And like I was telling our brother Marvin Edwards Bay earlier, when he was saying he didn't see, you know, a connection between the A, you only have the aleph. See, this is the middle form that I was describing when I responded to our brother. See the middle form of the A, how they got one here coming off, then they got an end form right here. But some cases you'll just see the A alone, isolated, you know, like it is here. You see, but there is an expression of that, you know. So here you have ba, you know, but then look at the ba in the beginning. Notice how the ba comes in. And remember I told y'all the peanut brother between the bread scribes? This is what we're talking about. And this is a regular Arabic. This ain't even Quranic Arabic. You know, this is regular. You know, now when we get into talking about the differences in expression, that's the context under which words are defined. Ain't got nothing to do with these actual letters here. It has to do with the definitions and certain words that enter into the grammar of standard Arabic, you know, that are not in the grammar of Quranic Arabic, and vice versa. You see, we have to know these things. You know, it'd even be good if you learn an Arabic word to see if what the modern meaning is, if you want to learn about it more. You know what I mean? See what it means in the modern as opposed to the classical Quranic Arabic. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It only make you sharper. You know, but just don't confuse the two. So here's the ta, you know, and then you see the T in the beginning form, the middle form. Remember I said every letter in its middle form, notice they always pretty much be that same letter, but they end up having an extension off of them coming either way. How can you tell that this is the letter K? Because you already see the top part of it right here with the dot above it. You know this is J because it don't, H part itself because it don't have the dot on it. No, this is J because it has the dot beneath, you know, just like it has here, this top portion. But notice it's spanning out like wings in both directions. This is going toward the initial form or the beginning. This is going toward the ending form. Notice how the ending form has the pretty much the same norm expression of itself. And then you see this little piece here that's coming off the tip of it. It would actually connect, you know, to this. So let's just say if we was connecting the T, then this portion here that's extending off would connect to that. Same thing here. You know, but the medial form or the middle form, family, is always coming out with wings in most cases. You see? With the exception of these letters here, for example, they still coming out that way, you know, but then you have a connection that comes off into these different letters too, like you would connect this to here. And you'll be able to know the difference when you see it. That comes with training the eye. So like this is seen. Notice it's going in every direction right here. Both directions. See, this is the beginning form. It's starting with the beginning portion of the letter, just like you would write it. It stops before it goes into extension to go with a straight line instead of a curve. And then you see here, like think of it like this. Here go a wing here, you know, and this is your whole other bird. This is the middle portion of it. But this is definitely how your middle form gonna look every time. You know, and we can go through every letter and it's the same way. If it's similar in shape, but one have dots, one don't, it's still the same way. In the middle, I mean the beginning, the middle, and the ending form. Same thing here, here, and here. And you just have to train the eye to know the alphabet. Once you know this alphabet, though, you're going to automatically identify, because you ain't going to never see another letter with no dot on it that look like this. So even when you see it in this form, you know it's D. Even when you see it in this form, you know it's D. You see, even when you see it in this form, you know it's D. Even when you see it in this form, you know it's T. You see? And the same thing goes on and on. So it's really learning the basic aspect. And this comes, like I say, through practice and applying it. And the same thing go across the board. See?
Islam,
Grand Secretary of State.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah.
For myself.
Go ahead.
All right. The one that is the za. Okay.
Yeah, right here. Mm-hmm.
Yes. In the medial form.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now you see how you see how it's got the wings coming off on either side. So now how would you do the B and then connect it? Well, something and then the B.
How would I put a B on this?
No, I'm sorry. The za. I'm trying to see how you would write the letter and then connect it. You know, I'm trying to see all of that letter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely. It's actually, you can see that actually in this line. I'm going to show you how. This is the end form of za, right?
Right.
This is the middle form of za, right?
Yes.
And this is the beginning form of za. So if you were to attach this to this, that's how you would attach it. You see what I'm saying? If you were to attach this to this, that's how you would attach it. Now, if you were to attach this different letter, let's say T, to the middle, you attach it there. So these are all your beginning forms here. And so they will always attach this way if you were writing it. You see, you get it, Grand Secretary of State?
Yes, but now in the medial form though, would you start with the top, go around the loop, and then bring it to the end?
Okay, got you. Me personally, my style of writing may be different than anybody else's, right? But you could actually come off of it saying if you had A, let's just say you had a letter B. Okay, and let's just say this is the B here, right? Now let's go into this za. I would write the B, right?
Right.
And then flow it into, because this would actually be this elongation here.
Right.
Flowed into this, right?
Yep.
I would flow it around like this here, go up here, come down like that, and go that way.
Okay.
That's how I would do it. You know what I mean? But some people may do it different from me, though. You know what I mean? Some people may come and say, well, I'm gonna come this way right here and go here then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's how I would do it. I would go like that, come up there, come down, and then go into my next letter.
Praise the Lord.
This and then come down, and I got you, Grand Secretary of State.
Gratitude.
And they actually have measures too where you can go and check it out if it's certain letters, because some of the letters may be easier than others.
Okay.
Gratitude. Like that one right there is a kind of crazy one, though. I would agree with you the way it's got a lot going on. Where the other one's easy. You can just come here, come there, and gone. You know what I mean?
Yes,
but
sir.
This one right here got a lot going on. And I think this is probably the most difficult one, if you were gonna try to figure out how to write it in the
Yeah,
pattern.
I just wanted to, yep, I was looking for the flow, but you brought that out. Gratitude. Yep.
It's long. And this one right here kind of crazy, but it ain't that bad. But you come up here and say like that, they'll come down and flow out like I would do. Some people may say, well, I'm gonna go this way and come like that, then come,
Yeah.
But either way, it would still bring the same drawing up. I'm trying to see. Now this some fun too, right here. Come off here. Oh wait, you know what? We can just write a letter 8 right there. Come up there, letter 8, a number 8. Come up there, flow around with that 8, and then bam, I'm out of here. 5,000. It's love. I mean, it's basically it come with time and practice. But what I would do, I would actually sit down at a time and then start practicing on the letters that's most difficult, as far as to writing them out. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
And but y'all got the other part that I was explaining about, just the connection between the letters, though, right? Like the
yes, sir.
This and that to that, and because that'll never change.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, there you go. And so when we look at it from this aspect, that's all you have to know, and that's gonna be even in whether it's modern or standard Arabic, you write them the same way. It's the context of the meanings that's different. And this is just like I say, this is Moroccan Arabic, chart here. See what I'm saying? This is Moroccan Arabic. And they got other Arabic charts. They got probably 30, 40 different Arabic charts. And so look, for example, in this basic Arabic, the word kitab, and they spelling it KT instead of KAT, kitab, see, kitabi. So the word is still the same here. So you can tell that they drew strongly from Quranic Arabic, in this particular book. I can tell it by what I'm looking at. Remember we were dealing with the word Maghrib? They call it Morocco. It says Anan Maghrib, right? And the word Maghrib, we know, come from the Quran. It means the furthest west. It means the west, right? And so now when you come here, you can see they mixing. This is actually dealing with their Moroccan language, even though they draw some things from Quranic definitions. They have a mixture between the two. And now this says, are you from the U.S.? Because we know ain't no word American. So they use the word American. Western T, I mean T, American. So yeah. Then you got certain words in here, like these words that we know straight. See, they say Medina. That's like Medina. It says city. Now, Medina, in the context of the Quran, having to do with where some of the surahs of the Quran come from. It wouldn't just be used in the context of being Medina as a representation of any city. So they're using the word Medina as the word for city. You see, so any place can be referred to as Medina in the regular language. You see the difference between the context in Quran and modern Arabic? You see? And, it's just different things like that people have to have a knowledge of, so all is well, all is well. But this is just one of the things I had pulled up, one of the books, and it got different lessons in Moroccan Arabic if you wanted to learn Moroccan Arabic. But chance is by the time you learn, if you're dealing with a particular branch of standard Arabic, all you're going to be learning is different dialects, and we'll touch on some of that before we get done with these lessons, because we got 2 more measures to deal with. In our last one, we'll get into some of the standard Arabic sources if one want to learn that. If they do, I don't really care to get all the way off into it, but it's good to learn. It's more important things like building our own language that I'm more concerned with at this point. Our version, we're going to have the Moorish version of the Arabia in a minute. So, yeah, this is one particular drawing here that give you introductions. Some Moroccan Arabic. Here's another one here. Another book, dealing with general Arabic. This ain't Quranic Arabic per se. at all. This is actually just general Arabic. But when you come into it, it's going to give you rules on it. The alphabets are the same. But if you look in here, like this type of thing, notice they have the Dhamma, the Fata, the Kasra, but you don't see these little dot things that's going on here in Quranic Arabic. You're going to just see the Kasra as a swoosh line, a little line. This here, you ain't going to see none of these things here they got it. Them little things up under that Dhamma, you ain't going to see that. You see? That's something dealing specifically with this particular book, and they giving that information. So it ain't nothing to be discouraged by, though, because it's pretty much still got the same thing. Now, see how they dealing with the A? There you go again. See the Aleph by itself, and you got the middle form here, and then they got the end form. They didn't show it connected like we did in the first demonstration. So you got different people that's teaching small differences in certain things, but it ain't nothing, like I say, to be discouraged about. You'll be able to identify it, trust me, once you become knowledgeable. See your beginning, your middle, your end form, same thing as that other book that I was just showing y'all. You know what I mean? Here it is again. These look a little clearer than the other thing I had, of course. The fonts look clear. So, you see your beginning form. See that little piece breaking off? Only got one wing. Got two wings over here, huh? It's your peanut butter. Islam, this the end right here. So, I mean, it really ain't, like I said, it's really, if you learn to start writing it out, though, each letter, that's what's going to make you put it in memory. You ain't going to memorize it just by coming into the demonstration like we doing now, and then that's it. No, you got to apply this information, and this right here, same thing. Every letter and every alphabet book that you get going to show the same thing. Some of them may be able to, you maybe get an understanding that's better in them. Some may be too complex or whatever, based upon where one is along the way. But nevertheless, you can rest and assure, family, that the basics is going to be the same no matter what you look at. We done already went over a lot of those things, so you can just see the same thing. The beginning, the middle, the ending form is the same thing. And these just random PDFs that I pulled up. Then they have a few words, greetings and all that right there. This is day-to-day Arabic here. Different ways of like words, airport, matar, tiyara, airplane, wasul, magadara, departure, different things to know if you was probably traveling a little bit. Al-Majarik, customs, mata, luggage, all this type of stuff ain't spoke of in the Quran. Flight tickets and receptions and, because these things didn't exist then. You know what I mean? These words may be in the Quran, but mean something else, so to speak. The actual word here I'm speaking of, but the definitions, take on a different meaning. I'm just saying if you'll find certain places in there. Istiqbal. A lot of people know that there's a place close to this here in the world called a name similar to this. But this is just called a reception. You see? So, different stuff like that. That's why I say we got to understand the context and the meaning and so forth and so on. Here we go again. Wahid. It simply means the number one. These are all the numbers here, right here in the Arabic. Saba, 7. Kamza, 5. Whole bunch of different measures in here. Right? So now, when we talk about Quran, there are actual books out there that deal with understanding the Arabic through the Quran. And then once you understand that, then you understand rules that's solely based on Quranic Arabic. You see? So you just have to know the difference between the two. Like I say, other than that, you end up making mistakes, that are not, hold up, I'm trying to go right here. Yeah, I wanted to show the list here. See, even in the Quranic drawing here. See, this is where the brother Marvin Edwards Bay was pointing out. We don't have the media form and all these forms here, but I showed you in the other chart they have it. And in certain Quranic translations, you'll see certain things a certain way that you don't see it a certain way. It's even certain mistakes that have been made, and we'll get into that one day. Even in the Arabic, as far as the way one has put certain words, so to speak. And a lot of it is more of a typo error than anything else, and not an error in the text itself, but there are some errors, typo errors, in some translations. So anyway, like I say, you come here, medial, initial, and they actually put it the other way around. They got a medial here, initial. They're actually going back this way, so this would be your front. They going the way we normally deal with the English, so this would be your initial, medial, your middle, and then final here. Same thing, same look, rules. There are a couple of more words where you'll see a break in them, but we also know that they show these things connected in the other alphabet charts. So it's really based on, who you're dealing with. So, this is the Arabic alphabet. It goes into it. This actually gives you the deep insight into all the rules, everything you want to know. That's why I say this is a more extensive study right here. Learning, we already know what the Fatah is. We know what the Kasra and the Dhamma is. And, but it goes more into extensive reading on certain grammatical expressions. And that's stuff that we put one on the professor degree to demonstrate, because we gave ones what's necessary in order to be able to go into the Arabic itself, but if you want to go deeper into the context, the meaning, and the grammatical rules, and, all is well. I try to go straight to the point and not have to go through all this extra, information right here. Not saying that one, shouldn't learn it or study it if they want to. I'm just saying I try to make it as simple as possible, in expression. Because you got to look at it, when somebody teaching us Arabic and they come from a foreign country, they struggle to try to tell us what certain things mean because they don't really know the English language that well. So being that we know the English language better, when we learn the Arabic, we can pick up better ways on teaching our people, that'll go directly to the point, like I try to do, you know what I mean? Instead of going through all the extra stuff. But like I say, everything else here, to learn different aspects, the feminine and the masculine and the plural and the singular, that's stuff that we should study, on our own time, but it's natural to understand that when you see the word ayat, okay, that's singular, ayatun, then you got your plural forms. See what I'm saying? Ayat, ayatun, singular, plural form. All they did is, added a little more onto it than what was there, not too much more, but they showing you the way that they written, still going into the same form of expression. See the samawatun? Samawatun. So yeah, all is well. And like I said, this is showing you Arabic, though. This is Quranic Arabic. See? It's Quranic. All these different rules in here. It's a lot of self-study right there. In other words, you ain't going to get that from somebody just telling you. You got to get into it and say, man, I want to learn everything in here. And to be honest with you too, family, a lot of this stuff is actually already in the dictionary of the Quran. Learning the plural forms, it actually explained it in a lot of the definitions. The plural form, the masculine, the feminine, it explained all that in the dictionary of the Quran. But this is just another document. So there's many books out there that people have written, on these different rules, and different aspects of grammar and but all is well, all is well. So what we're gonna do at this particular time, we're going to open up the floor And what I want to ask our scribes in opening up the floor, family, scribe of family, did you all see in the conversation between those brothers what was occurred and took place? You know, in regards to dealing with how one can be deceived and misled if they don't know Islam.
Islam,
Grand Secretary of State.
Islam, having already risen and given praise and honor we're due, definitely that was very profound, especially the way that you broke it down. And when you first asked the question, it was not even admitted until you pressed him further, you know, and it just reminded me of, you know, being dealing with more science, how key it is and important it is, just like we need to know, and I appreciate the hammer of repetition, just like we need to know there's a difference between classical Arabic and standard Arabic, you know, and the classical is dealing with the actual Quran itself, so that one is not misled. And, you know, I just, in bringing it to this modern day and time, our prophet lets us know how we've got to study and continue to study so that we don't become misled. That's why we have to be what we know, not what we're told. You know, and the same back then, because, and I'm looking at, in reference to self, had that clarity not been there, you know, I may have gone with that, especially if I had no clue in reference to the difference. So you definitely brought the point out well, but I also saw the attempt to try to keep that truth buried, you know, to try to keep the people asleep when it comes down to that. So yeah, gratitude for bringing that forth with clarity. Appreciate the blessing more.
Islam. And you know, it's the same too, Grand Secretary of the State, with some people that don't know how to differentiate the Moorish American government from the Moorish Science Temple.
Islam. Mm-hmm.
We see it all the time. They'll address us like we part of the temple, and we're like, wait a minute. I done seen the chairman have to say, well, wait a minute. I don't represent no Moorish Science Temple now.
Right.
You know, and then I have to tell them, y'all, you know who you're talking to? We ain't I don't know more nothing against the temple, because we love what the prophet brought, but don't confuse the government with the temple. You make a big mistake when you do that, because our ideology is totally different. Go ahead,
Islam. Gratitude. And also, if someone does something that's out of order, then you have those that may get a bad taste of Islam per se against everything because of the actions of a few. But when it comes down to Christianity, or when it comes down to something else, oh, well, that's just a few strayers or stragglers that are not actually dealing with the truth of Christianity, or just using that as an example.
Right,
but everything, okay, all Muslims, you know, they view taking life, for example, when nothing can be further from the truth. Yes.
That's something now. Every time a Christian do something, it's them that did it.
Yeah.
But when a Muslim do it, everybody did it. And that's the same thing with the NBC. Anything the NBC did, we all did.
Yeah.
You know, and that's that Roman ideology. You right, Grand Secretary of the State. They, for some reason, they mind work easy to say, no, that's what he did when it's a Christian. But then sooner they say a Muslim, oh, that's the whole of Islam. Anybody Islam. It don't matter what sect, branch, or whatever they is. But you're right. Go ahead, Grand Secretary.
You just got me hyped up right now. But had you not given us these books to study, and where it speaks about the holy war, okay, the jihad, that in essence is dealing with the battle within, between the higher self and the lower self. But if you listen to the television or Rome tell it, you know, you're supposed to be going out there killing infidels, and nothing can be further from the truth. So this is why it's imperative for one to do their own research. Gratitude.
Yep, when the infidel in their basement. They don't even know it. Woo! They can't even flood him out.
Praise the Lord.
Islam, Grand Secretary of the State. But yeah, that's and we want to make this a public service announcement too. Y'all got to stop that too. Y'all, when y'all see somebody doing something, they say, oh, they was out there challenging the jurisdiction. Listen, we in the Moorish American government don't teach nothing about no individual sovereignty now. We ain't out here challenging wrong about nothing. You know, stop it. Because some people mad at the Moors cause of that. Man, I paid $20,000. And so the word done got round that the Moors is scam artists cause of these knuckleheads that ain't even Moors. Half of them agent provocateurs. You know, it's terrible, but that's why we have to have the clarity, people. You know, that's why it's necessary to put the clean glass next to the dirty glass. All right, next scribe, Islam. What have you to say, family?
Islam.
Islam, Dr.
Islam.
Let the goddess go.
Okay, goddess, Sister Curta Bay.
Oh, Dr. Dendra near Curta Bay honors has already been given. I've thoroughly enjoyed this class because, you know, coming out of Christianity, you know, this is what I want to know. This is what I want to learn, and just listening how you handle yourself in dealing with ones, and like the goddess said, it just makes me know and how important it is that I, you know, that I get it, that I continue to immerse myself in these teachings, because like the goddess was saying, had not, you know, we know better, either been exposed to the teachings like you've been exposing us to, even though for myself, I don't know, I'm not where I want to be, but I can pick up little things on what was being said. And even I know, you know, well, wait a minute now, that don't sound right. And then too, listening, and when you talk about the Quranic Arabic, I want to make sure I'm saying this right. They don't know the Quranic Arabic. They was trying to apply the standard Arabic to the Quranic Arabic readings. Is that correct, Dr. Shahid?
Yeah, that's exactly what was going on. They was trying to take standard. It wasn't even just dealing with the standard Arabic, comparing it to Quranic Arabic. They were trying to take the hadiths, which is still dealing with the hadiths is really dealing with standard Arab. To be honest with you, just during an older time period.
Okay,
that wasn't even Quranic Arabic, but in the hadith, you know, they were trying to attack Islam based upon the stories in the hadith, the narrations.
right.
There's certain narrations in there, and they have different ones. That's the people don't know. Like, you got hadiths that may narrate a certain hadith. You go into another hadith book, and the next person said a little different than it was said. Then you go into another that said completely different, like 5 different versions, maybe 7 versions. So a lot of them, the more hadiths it is, they consider them weak chains of narration. But these people are trying to judge Islam and disparage Islam based on the stories that they henpicked and cherry picked out of the hadiths, basically. You know, and trying to attack the teaching.
Right.
So if one don't know no better, they can be misled.
Right. And I loved it when you
Arabic expert up there. Go ahead, goddess.
Islam. And I loved it when you just broke it down. You say don't put the hadiths over the Holy Quran. And you said, you talked about how the Quran, the Holy Quran is the authority. And that really helped me, because I didn't you know, I knew about the hadiths and all of that, but just listening to how you broke it down today really helps me, especially coming out of Christianity, because like I said, we never was exposed to this, and we give you honors, God, man. Do you break it down and you make it clear? And I had to get tickled at the God, man. He gonna bring his little buddy in there as one to you know, make Islam look bad. And then when his little buddy starts looking bad, then he gonna get upset. But that's the way they operate. That's the way the enemy operate. They try to go back and get somebody. And then too, how you pointed out, just because you was born there and you speak the language don't mean you are the authority on everything. I mean, the way you pointed that out, and that is so true. You know, I just love this class, and I'm definitely got to go back and listen to the playback, and just being in these learning the Arabic lessons and doing all, being in this class this whole time. And I say this to my people, my family out there who've been following us. Y'all just stay with us. You gonna learn this. And it just, especially those of you who are coming out of Christianity, this is helping me so much. And the way you do it, Dr. Shaheed, you break it down where I can understand. It's not over my head, nothing like that. I mean, you just break it down so clearly, and I can understand and ask questions, family. You know, and that's what we do here. We ask questions. The only dumb question is the question that you don't ask. And so this is just such a powerful class this morning. Gratitude, God, man, for letting me share Islam.
And Islamism, goddess. Oh yeah, most definitely. That's right, Islam, and that's the main thing. Like we were saying, and that's the thing too. A lot of people will be intimidated. Oh, he growed up. His name is El Masri, you know. And I told him that when we were speaking. Yeah, I see your name is saying you Egyptian, huh? You know. So I understood the Arabic, you know, by looking at that aspect and say, okay, well, he's Egyptian. All right, so which means his dialect that he speaks is the dialect that I was actually taught, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? But the difference is the brother that taught me was Muslim. He's just an Egyptian born brother that speak Arabic.
Right.
But that don't make him an authority. But some of our people, they're like, well, let's get somebody that speak Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
They can speak Arabic all day. That don't mean they comprehend the Quran. And even if they Muslim, that don't guarantee you dealing with somebody that know the Quran.
That's right.
You know what I mean? They just Muslim. They just an Arab Muslim.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Islam.
But people have to know that. They got to know that. You know, because some of the Arabs even try to use that and hold that over people. You know, and that's what was going on during the time of the Prophet himself.
Right.
People seeing people come that's supposed to be speaking so-called Arabic, and they wasn't even qualified.
Right.
And couldn't even come back to the United States. Sadi Majid is the one I'm talking about. That opposed Prophet Noble Drew Ali. If this is the same thing, man, I wish I'd have been back during the time of the Prophet. And they'd have been trying that stuff right there. Man, I'd have been right on them just like I'm on them now.
That's right.
You hear me? I love Prophet. Don't worry about it. I got him. Let me get this one. Hurtman Bay don't want to act right. He should be out there. He's supposed to be a polyglot. But evidently he in cahoots with him because he ain't said nothing. So let me get out here and put this scimitar on these ones, you know, trying to teach that stuff, you know. So, man, I tell you,
Islam.
Prophet smiling down on us right now.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is.
He's like, put in work, Moors, put in work. So I'm gonna keep casting it from the ethers into your dial plate.
That's right.
So you can get them.
Woo. Yes,
they can't hide. I see every one of them. Prophet see them out. Islam.
Islam. The Prophet still working. He's still working.
I keep telling them that, man. They think I be playing.
I know, right?
Islam.
Gratitude.
Love you, sis. Gratitude for that measure. All right, Body Bay. I already, you know you ready. We done warmed up the oil and everything.
Islam.
All you
Islam.
gotta do is dip your convex in it.
It's already there. Islam. One of the things that, you know, that I've been paying attention to a lot lately is the Agent Smiths. And I use that as a metaphor of the Matrix.
Brother Body Bay, if you're speaking, I can't hear you.
Oh, can I hear you?
I don't hear nothing.
I hear you.
I hear him too.
Islam, can you hear me?
Uh-oh, Sister Credit.
Yeah, we hear you.
Islam, for some reason, I don't hear nothing.
Uh-oh.
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 Wrong thing. Shut me down, must be.
Can you hear me? Islam?
Yeah, we hear you, but you can't hear us. You might have to go out, sister, if you can hear.
Okay. I close it out and come back in. Islam. Okay.
Islam. Well, I was gonna that I've been paying attention, like, to this, and I call it the Matrix because really, you see Neo, he had to discover himself, and in discovering yourself, you start seeing how many real Agent Smiths are around. And when I see, you catch a good. So when you started getting out here on the on these platforms, you see, I'm talking about they was coming in swarms. It was like in the when he was in the middle, and all them Agent Smiths just tried to jump on him, but they couldn't handle him because the truth. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the best weapon against any falsehood is always the truth, because it's simple. You don't have to remember what the truth is, but they always got to remember and compound the lie. And so when I see these brothers like the two that, automatically got riled up because what he thought was going to happen, this when they cast that they staff out there and it turned into a snake, you know what I'm saying? Or when you showed your the wisdom, and we say the Naga, and they ride out there try to bring this snake out here, and they snake got eaten up by the Naga. And I say that in reference to show the separation between what truth and falsehood is, because a lot of people only go with what they're told. They're not going. There's no investigation behind what they. There's no investigation behind what they have accumulated as far as what they claim to understand. It is only and solely based on what was given to them. And you can nothing just because you give somebody a seed don't mean they can grow the plant. And that's that takes me back to that spirit man was given a soul that he might function on the plane, things may manifest. And a lot of people, they are what they call the walking dead. Because they're only going off of their five senses as opposed to elevating that and putting thought activity in that in what they're given, you know what I'm saying? And so the Islam and gratitude, but there's a lot of I see it a lot when you get out here, you just keep swinging that scimitar and they falling because they ain't got nowhere to run, ain't nowhere to go, nowhere to run to, baby, and ain't nowhere to hide. And I leave that as I come in peace. Islam.
Yes, sir. Islamism, brother. And that's all it is. One's putting that truth out there. And they don't know. They don't know. I'm gonna show you something real quick here. This is what I wanted to, and I was actually gonna pull that up, but the guy had ran before I can get him. He like, I got to go. Right here. Let me see. I'm gonna make it. Let me blow this up. Okay, here we go. Right here. If you look right here, remember I told you I said to him, I said the Quran says the best hadith. He said that's incorrect, right? So right here, you see what this word is, scribes. What is it saying right here in this word right here? What letters y'all see right here?
I see the A, what is that? The H.
That's right.
What is that? Is that Lam?
Now you just said it right, A-H.
But where's that line coming off the H? That line going vertical?
That's the A. That's the letter A. That's the vowel.
Okay.
But then what's this one coming behind it here? What's that? Anybody, any other scribe? Notice the end form of it, but it's also the whole letter. So what is that? Any scribe know what letter that is?
it ain't T. It ain't no T. Ooh. I'll be guessing.
Not Dal or Thal.
Yeah, that's right. Down.
Wow.
Yeah,
My goodness.
that's D. And so what's this one up on it?
Okay.
What's the vowel up on it? What's that vowel?
Y.
Yep. Some people say I.
E or I.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, so see the A here, I, A up top, I on bottom. So that's HAD, and then Y right there. And then the last one here, what is that?
That's the T.
The T?
Thal.
That's right, that. And then so that's TH. And so that's Hadithi, right?
Hey.
Hadithi, right there, right? So now let's look at this translation. It says, Allah who has sent down the best message. Now, for those who don't know, this word best message has been translated and chosen instead of the word they actually used up here, statement. See what I'm saying? So it means statement, but it also means best message. It's the same thing, you know, like if we're looking in the dictionary. So, in other words, it is Allah who has sent down the best hadith. You see what I'm saying?
Praise
so
God.
When I told him, I said, does not the Quran say it's the best hadith? And he said that's incorrect. This is what let me know that he wasn't knowledgeable. I knew right then I got it. He don't know the Quran. You see what I'm saying? Because he wouldn't have said that if he had studied the Quran. You see, he wouldn't have jumped out there like that. And so basically, if it is saying that this is the best message or the best statement, right? Because it's using it in a different context. You remember the one context it said idle tales, but in this aspect is using it simply in the context of message or statement. You see? So there are many different expressions of this. So when it says he has sent down the best message, and it says a book of perfect consistency, repeated lessons, which cause the skin and the hearts of those who fear their Lord to tremble, and their skin and hearts to soften at the moment of the mercy of Allah. That is the guidance of Allah through which he guides whoever he wills. But whoever Allah leaves to stray will be left with no guide. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's right here. Beautiful translation, the way they put it. But don't nothing explain it better than going back to what Allah said. So this is the best statement. This is the best hadith. So if this is the best, that automatically rule anything to come out after that, right? Am I right or wrong, scribes?
Islam, that's right.
You see? So if you write another book and call it hadith, then it's automatically being a rival against Allah's book. That's why I said, ain't nobody else take the challenge when the Quran said, when Allah say, you know, for those of you, if you think that you got the truth, well, produce a book similar to it. Didn't none of the disbelievers and the infidels and the Kafiruns do this? Now one of them ever took that challenge. It was the Muslims. It was the Muslim that tried to write something outside of what Allah wrote. Ain't that crazy? But you have a lot of Muslim boasts. Y'all, you know it, Brother Bati Bey. You know, everybody, Allah challenged humanity to write a book and they couldn't produce none. All the while, y'all done produced one. Ain't that crazy?
Islam.
That's insane. Right up under I know the Arab done went and brought a book for to rival the book of Allah, which is what Muhammad didn't want.
And how many different hadith books is there?
It's a couple of them. You got Sahih, you got Tirmidhi, you got Bukhari, you know, and some they call sound, some of them they call not so sound. It's all based on the chain of narration. They got a lot of scholars out here now actually rejecting the hadith altogether. You know what I mean? They just starting to do that now recently. But Rashad Khalifa had already revealed in the number 19 that the hadith was an innovation. You know, Now they'll say some innovations are all right, but according to the Hadith, it say every innovation is a misguidance, and every misguidance lead to the hellfire. Make up your mind now. Can you innovate or you can't innovate? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. They use the rules and stretch them, when they get ready. And that's what caused conflict and different opinions. People going to war over a school of thought, and then talking about they demonstrating jihad for Allah. No, you going outside of the book of Allah. You going in opposition to what Allah said. Here's another right here. Let me see if it bring this one up. Okay, I may have to shut it down and then come back.
So, in other words, had you also not known the Arabic letters itself and the word hadifa, then in essence you would be being what you told according to what the translator stated.
Yep. And that's why
3 different definitions.
Yep. And that's why I say you at the mercy of the translator. And it's nothing wrong with a translator, but the thing is, we got to get off the training wheels. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that happened with the Bible. We went through that with the Bible. That's all you have is a translation. And then now when they got the books out here where you can go into them, like the Strongs and all that right there, Strong Concordance, you don't even have people want to do that. They want to go with the traditional interpretation that they was given over and over and over again. Yeah, I don't care what it means in the Hebrew. I'm gonna study it right here, and foolishness, and then wonder why they got your interpretation is based on that individual. Here's another one right here. What does the word say right there, family? You see it? It says hadith.
Okay.
Hadithan. Because it got an AN on it. See that the double slash? That's AN. Hadithan. Right? So it's still statement here. But the word they use down here is simply word. In the translation. So watch what it says. Allah, there is no God worthy of worship except him. He will certainly gather all of you together on the day of judgment, about where there is no doubt. And whose word is more truthful than Allah's? In other words, let's say it like this. Whose hadith is more truthful than Allah? See how it makes sense when you put the original word there? When you know the meaning of the word and the context of the word, though, right?
Islam.
Who? Find me a man, even Muhammad's hadith, wouldn't be more superior to Allah. And that's why Prophet Muhammad told him to burn it up. So that lets you know even he wouldn't go outside of what Allah would dictate him to do, because he a prophet. That's the angelic degree. He ain't finna remix nothing. And every prophet had that same mindset, including our brother Yehoshua and every one of them you can think of. None of them would come forth with something other than what the Most High, great God Allah, had given them. I don't care if it was let's say, some of our family get caught up, and it's their best friend, and that, no, you ain't gonna remix it for nobody. Your wife or nobody. I don't care how much you love her. You know what I mean? So, I mean, look at that. Elahi hadithin. Elahi hadithin. Minna. Elahi hadithin is what it says. Well, let's go back. El Sadiq. El Sadaku. The truthful. El Sadaku minna. Elahi hadithin. See what I'm saying? Right there. Oh, and that's what I'm saying. Once we get into it, we can transliterate this right here. We don't have the transliteration up here, in this particular measure, but I know what I'm reading. I don't even need, without even having this up here, and I don't know all of everything like I can see by eye, but it's certain things because I'm familiar with Arabic. I know what this is saying. Without this down here, I could have transliterated, okay, yeah, this is truth, mina than Elahi hadithin. You know what I mean? All right. And then I would have chose whatever it is that I would bring forth. You know. Islam, Grand Secretary of State.
Yes, sir. Just got a message from Dr. Dendra. Her internet is down, so she'll be listening to the class on the Facebook side.
Praise be to Allah, Islamism. Allah is leading on. And yeah, we going to Brother Marvin Edwards Bay, and we gonna close out in a second. So we just wanted to make the extra emphasis on those particular measures. Like I say, you know, this is again Sadaku min Alahi Hadithin.
Asdaqu mina Allahi haditha.
See what I'm saying? Just what I said. You know, so that's what I'm talking about. And I didn't grow up speaking Arabic, but I'm just showing you don't have to know, you know, as far as being fluent in the Arabic and speaking standard Arabic in order to do this. The more the Quran you study and you deal with the knowledge, it's going to come to you. Allah open up the ethers for you to get it. You know what I mean? And like when I see it now, I see the words. This right here, word here, this is Qiyamati, al-Qiyamati. This is day of judgment, day of resurrection. See?
Al-Qiyamati.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So, you know, Islam, Allah's leading on victory, sure. Brother Marvin Edwards Bay, you have anything you want to say? Is our brother there? Okay, I guess not. So all is well, all is well. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. Allah is leading on and victory is sure. Well, all right. All right. Anything else from our scribes before we close out? Something might be wrong with my mic now.
No, sir.
Okay, it's okay, all right. Okay, y'all all right. Okay, well, Brother Batabe, you want to close us out?
Islam,
gratitude. But praise be to Allah. Want to give honors to all of our family out there. You know, and gratitude for everything it is you done and will do. All right, Brother Batabe, we ready when you ready.
Islam. And chapter 25, Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother hath given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all, and your love to each other. And with that, Islam, Islamism. Peace, love, Morris. Islam.
And Islam. Peace and love, boys. We'll see y'all at the next juncture.
Great class. Gratitude.
Great class.
Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism.
Appreciate the blessings. Peace, family.
Peace and love, boys. All right. Peace and love to our family out there too in social media. Want to give honors to all of you, you know, that was able to show up. You know, those who tune in, those who are just looking from the outskirts, honors to you as well. You're welcome. Ronnie Dwight, honors to you, family. Meet Freedom, always honors to you, family. Let me see here. Our brother C Mac, honors to you. Marquise, honors to you, family, always. You know, it's honors to everything, honors to all of you. And so hopefully our family was able to get something out of this particular drawing. You know, this is the 5th of 7 classes that we'll be dealing with the lessons of the Arabic. Go back to the first one, you know, and you can learn. And we go further into this right here. It ain't hard as people make it. So peace and love. See y'all next time.